The heart of your teams, the heart of Michigan. Bally Sports Detroit, the heart of the fan.
The halfway mark between the skyline of downtown Detroit and the Capitol Dome in Lansing is Brighton, Michigan. And it's there that you'll find the Bulldogs of Brighton High School. But there's nothing halfway about these guys. With an unblemished 8-0 record and a top 15 ranking in the state of Michigan. But standing in their way on this final day of the regular season is the state's #1 team and the defending champs in Division I. The Belleville Tigers boast Michigan's most prolific offense, led by one of the best young quarterbacks in America, and will look to put on a show heading into the playoffs. These two KLAA division champs go toe-to-toe for the league title on a special Saturday afternoon edition of the high school football game of the week on Bally Sports Detroit. And as always, it's proudly presented by our friends at the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. KLAA title on the line today. Perfect day for ball. Undefeated Brighton against undefeated Belleville. Welcome to the field. Alongside Grant Perry and the rest of our great Bally Sports crew. Evan Stockton with you. All right, Grant, it's all set up today. Two undefeated teams, conference title on the line. One of the last regular season high school games in Michigan. What do you think we can learn about these teams today?
You know, I think we're going to learn a lot today. This is the last big test for both of these teams before they get ready for this long run that they want to have in the playoffs. Both teams have been tested throughout the season, and this is going to be their biggest one yet. Both undefeated, both looking to take that next step. Someone wants to be 9-0 today. We'll find out who it is.
Yeah, and we're going to find out how many people across Michigan have been paying close attention to high school football, because you're in for a treat today. One of the best young quarterbacks in America, the sophomore, Bryce Underwood, getting ready to work for those Belleville Tigers, Grant. My goodness, is he a treat to watch.
Oh, it's exciting. I can't wait to watch him. He brings a lot to the table. A couple of things. He's got a Rolodex of pitches, right? He's got a fastball with great ball placement. He put it right on the receiver, let them do the rest of the work. He throws a great changeup, and by changeup, I mean he gets it over the defender's head with a nice touch, let the receiver run right under it, put it right in the basket. Lastly, he throws a great deep ball. You know, it's equivalent to some collegiate quarterbacks. You know, the aiming point is 45 yards downfield, outside shoulder, and he does that at such a young age, which is so impressive.
Did you catch that Rolodex of pitches? Is this Gibby calling the ball game or Grant Perry? I absolutely love it. And it's great, Grant, to have help from your friends. Bryce has a lot of help from his friends on offense. They've got weapons all over that field, man.
All over. And that makes a quarterback's job so easy, especially a young quarterback that is learning the system, still figuring out the whys and the hows of how the offense is run. But Jeremiah Beasley, the running back, they want to get him going today, so he's going to be a big help to try to get those linebackers to step up, allow Bryce to hit the targets downfield over the defenders' heads. And if you look at the receiver stats, they all are averaging equal stats. He's facilitating the ball, right? He's a point guard, so excited to see it, and it's easy when you got guys that can make plays for you.
Now, that old football cliche is, how do you beat a really good offense? Belleville has the best in the state of Michigan. You got to have a good defense. Brighton may have the best defense in the state of Michigan, and it's because of a duo of linebackers, Grant, who are not scared of anybody.
No, and they are not. And they are fierce, and they are fast, and they are strong. This is the backbone of Brighton's defense. Number 0, Hunter Harding, and number 6, Griffin Bell. Both are team captains, both are the vocal leaders, real good practice players. They bring the team up, so look for them to kind of put the weight on their shoulders and have a day.
Now, and also, a part of the team that needs to have a day is Brighton's offense. There is a formula to beat Belleville. Just never let them have the ball offensively. Last week, Brighton had a drive that basically took up the entire third quarter in their win, Grant. So they're used to this. But how much of a challenge is that offensively when you got to play this style of ball?
It's hard, right? But the keys are third downs, right? You got to put yourselves in a manageable situation. You want to live in a third and short, 33, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 4, right? Those short downs that also can become a possible option to go for it on 4th down. So that's really the emphasis today I want to see out of Brighton, along with just having everyone play in unison.
It is an absolutely gorgeous day for football. Is this October or July? I'm serious. I mean, look at this. There is not a cloud in the sky. It is awesome. And the matchup we have is even better. Two undefeated teams. KLAA title on the line. It's a ball game so good, we move Football Fridays to Saturday. High noon, kickoff. Brighton next on Bally Sports. Is that the Miami Hurricanes or the Brighton Bulldogs taking the field on just a glorious late October afternoon for football? We're going to hit 70 degrees by the time this day is done. Grant, there are two proper choices on a day like this in October. Go to a football game or go golf. Everybody here has made the proper decision to watch a KLAA title be battled for this afternoon. That's Brian Lemons, one of the better high school football coaches in Michigan. Those numbers kind of speak for themselves. What's so interesting about Brian is he did play collegiate athletics, but he was a baseball player for the Oakland Golden Grizzlies, and he has built one heck of a football program here in Brighton. And on the other side of things, Jermain Crowell is a guy you know by now if you're a Michigan high school football fan. Former assistant at Cass Tech. Now he's built quite the resume with the Belleville Tigers. And he is raring to go to take on these Brighton Bulldogs for a conference title today. 3 years ago, Brighton, Belleville in the state semifinals. One of the bigger upsets we've seen in a long time in Michigan high school football. Belleville's last gasp Hail Mary fell centimeters short. Brighton wins by 3. One of the bigger upsets we've seen in a while, and Jermain Crowell has not forgotten what happened on that day 3 years ago.
Every time we play Brighton, I get damn excited. This is for championship, fellas. You guys might not know it, but you're the defending champ of this league, the KLAA, for at least 5 years running. The only time we didn't win was my second year. So this is for bragging rights. I believe they're going to be undefeated. You're going to be undefeated. We go to their place. We got a surprise for them. We got a surprise for them.
Standings are set. Stage is set for one heck of a battle. Undefeated Belleville, top team in the state. Undefeated Brighton, hoping to pull off another upset. Grant, are you ready yet? Because I'm ready.
I'm excited, ready to go. A couple of undefeated teams here trying to make a statement before the playoffs start. A little bit of history between these two teams as well, so both of them want it, and only one can come out with it. So excited for it.
Home team Brighton Bulldogs in the black and orange. Belleville in white, orange, and black. The familiar paw print logo of the Brighton Bulldogs on full display. There's Joseph Davis, their senior kick returner. Longest this year, about 45 yards. And Braden Lane, the kicker for the Belleville Tigers. He'll handle the punting and the kicking. Belleville really likes what they have in that left leg. KLAA title on the line. We're playing ball on a Saturday afternoon at Brighton High. Bulldogs have a chance for a return. They're going to try the left side. That's Carter Gregg, a junior backup running back, who's escorted out of bounds just shy of the 30. Colin McKernan, the senior starting quarterback for the Brighton Bulldogs, he's had to battle through injuries this year, Grant, but he's healthy now, and this is the type of senior quarterback that a program like Brighton loves, and he's the type of guy you can follow to an undefeated record entering today.
Absolutely. He's their facilitator. Colin McKernan is a really smart kid in the classroom and outside the classroom on the field. He's doing really well this year with 71% completion percentage, over 1,100 yards, and 10 touchdowns to 1 interception ratio. So he's got to have a big day and facilitate this offense if they want to have a chance here to have a good day.
Senior quarterback with a 4.0 GPA. Music to Brian Lemon's ears. Nathan Stark, the running back. They fake it to him, toss it deep. It's incomplete. Open for Ashton Tomasi on the first play of the ball game. Nathan Stark, the starter for Brighton. That's Carson Schrader, their outstanding senior running back, who's run for nearly 700 yards and 11 touchdowns this year, but he's not going to play today, Grant. It'll be Nathan Stark, a sophomore running back they're really excited by, but you got to imagine number 21 in black. My goodness, that adrenaline's flowing right now.
Oh, it's flowing. And Coach Lemons said earlier this week that they're going to count on guys to have to step up that usually don't have a role here in the offense, and this is a very pivotal role for 21, Nate Stark, to have a good day.
They'll run Hedderton, the backup quarterback, who they will cycle throughout the lineup this afternoon. And he sets up a third down and more manageable for a Brighton offense that, frankly, sometimes takes a backseat to the defense that doesn't even give up 10 points per game. But you cannot sleep on an offense that facilitates it and spreads the wealth around, kind of like the way Belleville does. Are they as explosive? No. Are they patient and powerful? Check yes on that one, too.
Absolutely. Sometimes consistency is all you need.
McKernan back in the game. Third down, 5. Soft roll to the right. Looking downfield. Now he'll tuck and run, and he will not get the first down. That was a long developing play, Grant Perry, and a really nice job by the Belleville D, staying patient and forcing fourth down.
Yeah, it was. And Brighton, they do a lot here, but this is a rollout pass. They want to get the QB on the edge to give him the option to run if it's not there, but Belleville's in this zone coverage, pursuing hard, doesn't give him many lanes to throw, and Belleville comes out and forces Brighton to punt here on the first drive.
Hedderton, the junior punter, is also the backup quarterback. Let's keep that in the back of your mind this afternoon. They snap it to a second punter. You truly never know what you're going to get. The left-footed boot is away and rolling softly and dying just shy of the 30. That was Noah McDonald, number 46, with the punt for Brighton. All right, everybody, get your popcorn ready and get that beverage ready. Here's Bryce Underwood, one of the best young quarterbacks in America. The stats and all the accolades tell the story. But, Grant, what should we know about Bryce Underwood that we can't learn by just reading what's on the screen right now?
I mean, young quarterback trying to come into his own here. Won him a state championship last year. Looking to take steps forward to really just hone in on his craft, right? Getting the ball out quick, finding the right reads, whether it's 1-2 check down or if it's just hitting the running back immediately if the coverage doesn't look right. He's coming into his own, and it's all up from here for the kid.
Jeremiah Beasley, the back with him on his left. First down 10. They start with a run, and that powerful Brighton defense stops Jeremiah after a gain of 1. It's kind of funny. Everyone on the Belleville offensive side focuses on Underwood and focuses on all the skill players, but I want you to focus today on that offensive line for Belleville. Quite frankly, Jermain Crowell wants his program to be a power running team. They've got the line to do it. And Jeremiah Beasley, Grant, 6'1", 215 as a junior running back. He's a load to bring down, man.
Yeah, he is. Hard runner, physical at the point of attack.
First shot of the game for Underwood. All the time in the world. Downfield and incomplete. Hoping for Jalen Johnson.
Right, and that's that goal ball right there. He put it on the outside shoulder away from the DB. Gave him an opportunity to catch it just a little bit too much on it. First throw of the game, you're going to have a little bit of a, getting your nerves down. It's going to come to him. Let's see what they do here. It's third down and long in your own area, in your own field. So let's see what kind of play they decide to go with here.
Quite frankly, Grant, this is a position that Belleville is never in. An offense that averages over 50 points a game, mainly because they're not getting in situations like this, third down long.
Right. They're going with 3 down linemen here. That's pass coverage heavy.
Underwood's got the time again. Down the middle, incomplete, and a flag. Yarborough, the intended target, and he got tangled up in coverage. That was Gregorich trying to have the coverage here, Grant. Let's take a look.
Yeah, so Brighton comes out in the 3 down front, meaning they got a lot of pass coverage. Michael Yarborough just crossing the middle, gets tripped up there by the cornerback. Unfortunately for Brighton, that's a tough spot. 15 yards, you never want to do that. But hey, the old saying is 15 yards is better than 6 points. So long drive still to go. Let's see what happens here with Brighton's attack. And on the first play of the game, I don't know if you guys noticed, they went with a 5 down lineman set. So a 5-2-4, right? So that's a run emphasis on first down. So they're preparing for the run, but also on third down there, they adjusted. They went 3 down linemen, so they're preparing for the pass there. They're doing situational things that are good here.
There's always a few wrinkles that Brian Lemons and the coaching staff will throw at you. The staff for Brighton has been together for darn near a decade. Underwood, quick throw. First catch of the game for Kevin Symes, who lost the ball. A big early play for the Brighton defense. It's the senior Griffin Bell on top of that football.
we go. Number 3, Ryan Velarde here with the big play, roll it. Here we go. They run a little bubble screen here. Kevin Symes catches it. Ball should be on the outside arm when you're on the sideline, and he just gives it up. Now, these are the plays Brighton's going to have today if they want to stay in this. Great play there by the tackle, and great recovery on the sideline, getting the feet in to keep it on their side.
If you want to spring an upset, you gotta get some turnovers. Brighton just got a turnover. First carry of the game for Nathan Stark. And he barely gains a couple of yards up to midfield. Good carry on the first play of the game for Nathan Stark. He's got to make his first ever start against the top team in the state. Good luck, my friend.
Man, nerves are flowing. He's probably thinking of everything that he has to do today, but you wouldn't want it any other way, right? Hopefully Carson Schrader's okay, number 5, the running back, but looking forward to seeing Nate Stark have a good day today, number 21.
Again, that's Carson Schrader, the star senior running back for Brighton, who was injured and out of this game this afternoon. Henderson back at the quarterback spot, and Belleville ready. A Tiger sandwich swallows him for a loss.
Belleville comes out in a one high look. They're loading the box, right? A lot of guys inside. They're trying to throw QB power here with Grant Henderson. And then when there's no lanes, you can't go anywhere. Belleville does a great job of maintaining gap integrity, right? Staying in your gap, making the linebacker's job easier there. Great play by the D-line there. Looking forward to seeing what they bring here on a 3rd and long. Brighton's going to have to open up the play a little bit here and get creative.
You see the impact guys for Belleville. A bunch of them on that defensive line. And speed in the back end as well. McKernan swinging it out. 3rd down, long way to go. Not even going to get close. That is pure Belleville defensive speed getting to the football.
Here we go, up at the top here. They're just going to go tunnel screen here, but you got to read the play as a defense. Lorenzo Jennings, number 3, does a great job of getting outside, making it a hard block. That's a tough play there. It's 2-on-2. You know, you want numbers, so you want a 3-on-2, a 2-on-1. Belleville was in the right set there to stop them defensively.
Henderson will punt it this time, and it's a good one. Symes lets it roll, and that's going to prove to be a poor decision as Brighton downs the football inside the 10. Belleville's offense back in the field in a 0-0 game when you come on back to Brighton High. A couple of early cracks for the Brighton offense, but still goose eggs on the board. Belleville about to get the football back in just a second. Time for Grant's game plan. Grant Perry, what do you think the keys are for the home team today?
Yeah, Brighton offensively, they got to live life ahead of the change. They got to set themselves up for 3rd down and short, 2, 3 to 5 yards right there. Live in that area because that helps the drive stay going, keeps your offense in rhythm, keeps your defense a little bit of a breather. Defensively, nothing easy, nothing fast here. Belleville's averaging 50-plus points a game, right? So you want to limit those big plays and make them have to drive 10, 15, 12 play drives. So those are the keys there. Let's see if Brighton can pick it up and do it.
Belleville did take a deep downfield shot on their first drive of the ball game. Underwood missed Johnson. Back to the ground they go. They're going to try to establish the run. That's a good run to get it started. The ball actually popped out again, and Belleville averted disaster again. Grant, that would have been their 2nd fumble of the ball game.
Man, that would have been tough, especially they're in their own end zone or in their own area, backed up. They got to hold on to this ball here if they want to have some long drives. Colby Reed, 23 right here, just running with the ball. Oh, you put 22, Hunter Hopman puts his hat right on the ball. That's a form tackle. Pops it out, but luckily Belleville was able to hold on to it.
Quick hitter up the middle. It's caught. Belleville pushes the receiver backward, but not before Dennis Crawford gained the yardage he needed for a 1st down. All right, good start to the drive for Belleville, minus the fumble that they nearly lost. Grant, what do you think the keys are for Jermain Crowell's club today?
Well, offensively, I mean, I'm going to add this one in right now. Ball security here. Hold on to the ball early on. But offensively, hop in the rocket ship. What I mean by that is have these explosive plays, effective runs that go for 10, 15 yards and hit your downfield throws. Defensively, win on 3rd and 4th down. Brighton is known to go for it on 3rd down and 4th down, so you got to win those drives and get your team off the field.
That's a high snap leading to a busted play. Ryan Velarde, who forced the fumble earlier with the TFL that time.
Man, he flew up there. Good chop right there at the thigh bore, right on his legs. Rashad Jones couldn't even do it. If you take a guy's legs out, he can't run. They're just running a little tight end, like delay screen right down the field there. It's a fake inside to the running back, and it's supposed to draw the backers inside, but they were all over it. Brighton was all over that one.
Ryan Velarde at 5'8", 160 just tackled Jones, who is 6'1", 240. Yeah, you got to go low to tackle a guy like that. Underwood with time again. Down the middle and incomplete. They keep working on Ryan Velarde, and that senior DB is up to the task. Number 3 in black and orange.
Man, number 3's having a good day so far, and that's just going to be the key today for Brighton. You got to have everybody step up, playing in unison, right? This is a great Belleville offense, so you got to be on your P's and Q's defensively here, and early on they are. This 3rd and 12, Belleville doesn't want to live in that. They want to be in these 3rd and shorts just like Brighton's keys to the game. So, tough situation here. This is where Bryce Underwood comes in clutch.
Underwood on 3rd down 12. Fastball down the middle. Caught first down Belleville. It's Julian Johnson. And for the 3rd time on the drive, Belleville's moving the sticks.
Just a good play here. Bryce Underwood understands the coverage. He looks right, comes back left, get the defenders, get the safeties moving. Does a good job running the post route. They're running cover 4 here. So number 2, the cornerback slips, but he's got outside leverage, right? So that post route is there all day.
First down for Belleville. They'll keep it on the ground with Beasley. Slipped a tackle, kept the legs moving. Solid gain on first down. Grant, are you surprised by the fact that Belleville's having success throwing the ball, but they keep trying to establish that run?
Right. I mean, just football in general, if you have a good run game, helps your passing game, right? And this defense for Brighton, they're a linebacker-driven team, right? Those guys are coming uphill fast. The D linemen are looking to get in the backfield and tackle them right there. They missed one, but the run game helps the pass game. You got to be complimentary here.
Back to the ground. This one not going to work as well. There was absolutely no room for Colby Reed to operate. Nicholas Thalaker, the first one in there.
Gallagher, number 50 here, just gets in the backfield, beats his man, O-lineman across his face. Penetration in the backfield kills inside zone runs. Right there, they were doing a little inside zone run, a little split zone where the tight end comes and blocks the backside defensive end. You can't run good plays like that when you get penetration like that. Good play there by Nick Thalaker, number 50.
Can Belleville convert on 3rd down again? Underwood, right side. You bet they can. Jalen Johnson with a ton of cushion picks up an easy first down.
Right there, Brighton checked into a little cover 3 right there. It looked like they were in a too high look, but the motion kind of adjusted the safeties here. But off coverage at the top of the field right there, number 17, Jalen Johnson catches the ball in stride right there. Perfect pass, moves the chains. That's what they're going to look for. Look for the mismatches, look for the off coverage. Right here we get a little birds on the fence look. Might be a cover 4.
The pump and the throw and the catch. Belleville starting to exploit the coverage on the back end for Brighton. That's Julian Johnson again.
Right, and if you saw that play right there, you just saw that the safeties are kind of moving late. They're trying to just kind of distract Bryce Underwood. Right here, you get Bryce. He's going through his reads, right? One's not there. Comes back to the guy crossing the middle of the field. They went into a cover 2 look, so that means that they got some room in there between the linebackers, and he found that open gap. And he will tear you up if you do just sit in zone coverage. So they got to mix it up a little bit here and confuse Bryce Underwood.
He fields the snap. He's got the time to the end zone. Nearly picked. Jack Gregorich with the coverage that nearly turned into a disaster for Bryce Underwood.
The ball is finding Brighton's hands. They're getting so close every drive with a turnover here. Bryce Underwood throws a rocket in there into the end zone, but number 2, Jack Gregorich, just steps in front of it. Good play by number 2, Jack, to avoid them scoring a touchdown there.
Jack leads the team in interceptions this year, and he nearly had another one. Little and caught again. That's Jalen Johnson. There's Julian and Jalen on the outside for Belleville. They have had 5 different players catch a football already this afternoon. Big play coming up here for a Brighton defense, Grant, that gives up exactly 9 points per game on the year. You could pick pretty much the whole D to be an impact player, but we focus on these 3 on the screen.
Right, we've already called a couple of these guys' names. Number 50, Nick Thalaker. He's having a good day so far, disrupting the backfield. Number 0, Hunter Hardy. He is the backbone of this defense at the linebacker position. And
it's Jeremiah Beasley weaving his way ahead. He refuses to go down. He's not going to get in the end zone, but he is going to set up a first down and goal.
Don't you love seeing that, Evan? Just everyone getting in on the play, just trying to push them in there. Those linemen, in a sense, kind of count that as a touchdown for themselves if they get the push in there.
Where's Reggie Bush when you need him, am I right? Sorry, Notre Dame fans. Back to the ground, and Beasley leaning ahead. Touchdown, Belleville. It's an offense that loves to sling it through the air, but on that drive, a lot of pure power on the ground, Grant Perry.
Left side here, the 2 pullers coming to trap the D lineman there. Beasley just finds a way to get in there. That's a tough play to have because the defense has to react to the pulling guards, but also you got to stay gap sound there. They find a way to execute this drive all the way from the back on the, I think it was on their 20-yard line. Good drive by Belleville and way to put it in the end zone. They avoided a few possible turnovers.
There's a big play for Brighton. Put a little check mark by that. A block P18.
Another one.
Jeremiah Beasley, touchdown number 15 on the year. They count all the same. This is pure straight power. The junior into the end zone. And the Belleville Tigers on the board first. I mean, seriously, where in the world would you rather be than Brighton High today? It is a perfect late fall day. Belleville and Brighton competing for a KLAA championship today. Belleville, as their defensive coordinator, has Bill Sheridan, who has, frankly, the most experience of any defensive coordinator coaching in high school in Michigan this year. Yes, he has coached for all of those NFL teams, including the Detroit Lions, a man who has a resume that includes a bunch of NFL teams, a lot of preeminent collegiate powers. The last stop was at Air Force, and now he finds himself on the Belleville coaching staff. That resume is so long and so impressive we can't fit the entire thing on the screen, Grant. But frankly, what a blessing for Belleville's players and frankly their coaching staff to have someone of this caliber on their staff this season.
Yeah, it's just so impressive. Just the resume speaks for itself. I mean, NFL, collegiate, it doesn't matter. It's a blessing probably for Belleville to have him on their staff. Just the wisdom he brings, just the instruction. Great pickup though at Belleville.
Carter Gregg with an acrobatic catch as he tries to return this football, and Belleville doesn't let him reach the 20. All right, Grant, I'm curious. So Brighton has had the ball twice today, haven't scored yet. Do you like their offensive attack plan so far? And whatever the reasoning is, why or why not?
Yeah, it's just what they've been doing, right? They're coming out in these 2 tight end sets with 2 receivers. I saw a lot of that versus it was versus Howell when they played Howell. It's hurting a little bit that they don't have Carson Schrader. You can tell, Nate Stark's just getting his feet wet here early on, but you just stick with your game plan until you can't. So right now, I'd expect them just to stick with it. And number 0, Hunter Harding's in the game too. Lemon said we'd see him on offense here today.
It's a heck of a blocking back to the left of Grant Hedderton. He's the running quarterback. He's running off that block on the left side. That is a very solid gain on first down.
Yeah, they had some good window dressing there. You saw the motion guy come across. That kind of just stretches the linebackers. It opens up the middle of the field where the linebackers are playing, lets you find an alleyway. And that's the kind of plays they need here on first and second down, right? They just got 7-8 yards there. Positive play. Let's see if they can multiply and keep adding on.
Remember, when Brighton upset Belleville in the playoffs 3 years ago, this was the attack plan. Let's bleed the play clock. Let's keep running that ball. And frankly, never let them touch the football if they don't have to. Give up the middle. It's Nathan Stark, met by the Belleville D line, and third down short is on the way.
Yeah, and part of the impact players we mentioned were Cam Weaver and Jeremiah Warren. These guys are a force right now up front. They can't get any movement up front, the Brighton O-line. They're having trouble moving these D linemen out of place. They're trying to add these window dressing type motions, try to shift the defense, try to get them out of their assignment alignment. So interesting attack here early on from Brighton, but let's see if they can just keep it going. We got a 3rd down and 3 here. This is a crucial play right now.
Ederson back on the field. The running quarterback, 3rd down and short. He's running again left. That play worked earlier on the drive. Let's see if he got the 1st down. It's darn close.
And Evan, have you noticed they're running into the boundary? That is the short side of the field, but what you lack in space, you gain in numbers. You got mismatches out there. You know, the defense is going to be playing space. They're going to be playing towards the field. So Brighton is taking the offensive approach and, hey, we're going to try to find mismatches, angles, and leverage here. So they've been running into the boundary with the Q power, 2 pullers, 2 leading backs on that play, last play, but they're trying to attack the weak side of the field here.
KLAA Conference Championship on the line. Undefeated Brighton at home trying to spring an upset against the defending D1 champs. Consensus top team in the state, the Belleville Tigers. After 1 quarter, it's as advertised. The Tigers have scored, but the Brighton Bulldogs defense has made some plays as well. A perfect fall Saturday for football. 3 more quarters to go at Brighton High. We're back in a moment. This special presentation of high school football on Bally Sports Detroit, brought to you by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Think Ford first. Last year, the Belleville Tigers got the monkey off their back against a Rochester Adams team that, quite frankly, could be back at Ford Field in a few weeks. Belleville beat them 55-33, and a program that for years had been knocking on the door finally got their first ever state championship. Grant, what do you think of victory like that last year for Belleville, Jermain, Crowell, all the players, all the fans, all the coaches? What does that do for your psyche as a football program?
It just gives you confidence. You know, you go and you do something, you can tell yourself you can do it again, right? And then they're on track to do that here and even improve their record from last year. They were 13-1, 12-1, and this year they're undefeated so far.
1st down, McKernan. Rolling right. He'll tuck and run, and oh my goodness. An absolutely massive hit. McKernan is down after one of the bigger hits you will ever see at the high school level. That was James Robinson.
Man, that was a hard hit there, but talking to Crowell here earlier this week, head coach for Belleville, I asked him, I said, give me something on James Robinson. He said he is the enforcer, their best tackler, and I see that Coach Crowell is not lying after that one. Hopefully Colin McKernan's okay.
All right, here we go, guys. Let's get a look here at the stick of Robinson on McKernan.
They've been switching quarterbacks here, and, you know, Grant Hederton at number 18 has been running a little bit, and maybe that's why they've been having him run a little bit. You know, these rollout passes, they kind of tailor them so that if nothing's there, they can tuck the ball and run. In that case, you know, you want to see your QB go down or aim more towards the sideline. You never want to see him take a hit like that. You know, but everyone's, you know, clapping him on. He's getting up here slowly, so hopefully he's okay.
Brian Levin's just checking with the officials after that huge hit on McKernan. Here's Grant Hederton, who is about as reliable and experienced a backup quarterback in Michigan as you'll find. He had to start weeks 2 and 3 this year when Colin was out due to injury, and we've seen Grant run the ball. He's essentially the running quarterback in this offense, Grant, for Brighton. So now what do you do when your backup, your running quarterback, for the foreseeable future, it would appear, has to be your main guy?
Yeah, this is a challenge for sure, and it got really hard now that Colin's, you know, kind of winded right now. Hopefully he's okay, but right now the offensive coordinator for Brighton is going through his playbook right now. He's saying, okay, what are some easy throws that will help gain yardage? 15 yards. I'd expect to see some screens outside, some tunnel screens, some bubble screens, some halfback screens, along with the kind of run game that they've been doing so far. Be interesting to see if they run Grant though. Still,
Jermain Crowell just had a penalty enforced on that big hit by James Robinson. Coach Crowell thinks James Robinson has the potential to be one of the best defensive backs he's ever had. Crowell would know something about defense. Longtime defensive coordinator at Cass Tech before taking the head job here at Belleville. Henderson will go under center. Play clock at 15. They are in no hurry. Give Stark. Little wiggle, little crack up the middle. 4-yard run. Brighton will take that every darn play, won't they, Grant?
Absolutely. The old saying goes, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. What that means is if you get 3.5 yards every play, you're going to score on every possession. So that's what they want. They want to make it 2nd and 5 to 6. Now get another 3 to 4 yards and make it a 3rd and manageable.
By the way, that hit on McKernan by James Robinson, the 15-yard penalty was targeting, but it is not an ejection. So they look at McKernan on the sidelines. We hope Collins able to come back in the game at some point. Same play, and this time Stark tripped up. Gain maybe a yard or two. 3rd down coming up.
Yeah, you're going to see this a lot from my guess, is that they're going to have these running backs standing in a 3-point stance, right? They're going to hit these quick misdirection handoffs to try to stay low behind the O lineman. It's hard for the linebackers to read where the running backs are going because the handoffs are coming so quick, and it's going to be a challenge for Belleville because they really haven't seen this out of Brighton this year, right? They've been a more spread team. Well, they have gotten into some I form here, but with Grant Henderson, number 18, the quarterback taking over for Colin, I think that's going to be more of the game plan for them.
Henderson, the backup quarterback, hasn't thrown a pass all day. May have to here. Whistle timeout Brighton. Lemons calls his first timeout of the half before that 3rd down and 5. And now a message for family heating, cooling, and electrical.
For over 50 years, your family has trusted Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call Family Heating and Cooling now for all of your family's heating and cooling needs.
Visit FamilyHeating.com today.
All right, we're going to get a look here at Brighton's season schedule as they enter this matchup for a KLAA championship against Belleville. And Grant, here's what I want everyone to focus on the screen. These guys may be undefeated, but they're battle-tested. Beat Heartland by 2. Had to block a field goal late to beat Northville. Last week, that Howell game was closer than the scoreline would appear. So, with the score being what it is, and frankly, we expect a competitive game all afternoon, Brighton is not going to be rattled or intimidated because, frankly, they've played games like this already a bunch this season.
Right, and you hit it right on the nose there. Brighton has been in these situations before, right? And you can't simulate these type of situations in practice. It's just not the same. You can do 2-minute, but these situations where you're down and you got to have a drive, Belleville hasn't been there yet. So I'm interested to see how they handle that. But Brighton right now, they're right in their comfort zone, right? They want to just keep moving this ball, keep eating this clock. 3rd and 4 here, though, so we got to get at least 2 yards, I'd say, for you to go for it.
Same formation as before Brighton called the timeout. 3rd down 5. Henderson running all the way left. He will not get the 1st down. Is there a decision to make here, Grant, for Brighton, or are you punting?
Looks like they're staying on the field here, but this last play by number 54, Lamar Fairfax, gets upfield, wraps up the ball carrier. They're trying to run this QB power with these motions, and Belleville is all over it right now. Brighton's going to have to adapt in some form or fashion.
Now they got Henderson back there along with McDonald in their 2-punter look that they've been using all afternoon. The crowd in front of us wants them to go for it. And there's flags all over the place.
.55, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
There's Chuck Walters and the rest of our officiating crew. Working on a Saturday afternoon in late October. That is straight out of the Chamber of Commerce here in Brighton. Again, Hedderton, the backup quarterback, is the punter on the left side of the formation. Noah McDonald, the backup linebacker, the junior, is the punter on the right side of the formation. And yes, they have both punted today.
Very interesting technique here. It's a spread type of punt look. I don't know if I've ever personally seen two punters, though.
Officials were looking at the play clock. They may have forgotten to reset it after the last penalty. Yeah, Grant, you and I have watched probably more football games than is humanly healthy. I have never seen this punting formation before.
No, and I can't really speak on it. I don't know the thought behind it. My guess is that this is just kind of setting something up for later when they need it. They'll use this and go for it in some form or fashion. You know, and as you see, when he's about to punt this, he's going to hold this for a little bit, right? And that helps the rest of the punt team get downfield and cover these guys, right? Like we talked, Kevin Symes is a heck of a ball player. 3 touchdowns in the air, well, over 300 yards receiving. They don't want to punt to this guy and let him have free access. So they're going to hold it as long as they can without getting rushed, and then they'll boot it away, let the guys cover downfield.
Got to get all our T's crossed and I's dotted here. Jermain Crowell looking around, and Brian Lemons as well, wondering when the ready for play comes. We're good to go. By the way, Brighton is just winding down the play clock here. There is ready for play. Here's Hedderton. There's that roll to the right that Grant was telling you about. Symes will let it fly out of bounds. And Belleville will have a longer field to work here after that punt is out of bounds at around the 20. So, Grant, you were just alluding to this, right? We pointed out how Brighton has played close games this year. Let's be blunt, Belleville hasn't had a challenge all year. So what do you learn about yourselves in a game like this where, frankly, you are being challenged for the first time all season?
I think you kind of learn on the fly. You know, just like Coach Crowell said, head coach for Belleville all week, he said, we don't know our identity when we're in a dogfight, right? And that's something you learn as you go. You see how players are responding. You see how the sideline interacts with each other. This is going to be an important test here, an important drive, too, see if they can get to a double-digit lead. But you don't know. You just don't know. It's going to progress throughout the game, and then we'll find out what their true identity is.
Give Jeremiah Beasley. Running right, avoiding Griffin Bell. That is a 6'1", 215-pound running back who just ran away from the middle linebacker Bell. This is an impressive run, Grant.
Yeah, it is. He got to the outside there. And if you don't have a force player or you don't have an overhang being someone that just protects that outside alley, they're going to have these plays all day. And Jeremiah Beasley is a hard runner, fast runner. He's got notoriety, college attention from Michigan State, Kentucky, Tennessee. So he's a good ball player, and can't let him get on the edge like that.
Back to the ground. Beasley running left this time. He is starting to rack up the yards as this first half rolls along. That is another carry for a first down.
You know what? They're same exact play. They just Xeroxed it. They put it and did it to the field that time. And Brighton's coming out in this 5-down alignment set, right? So the middle and the gaps are going to be a little tighter to fit through. So I think Belleville's, kind of critiquing the way they're trying to attack, and they're trying to attack the perimeter right now. And it's working so far here on this drive.
Those are your fresh and updated stats for Jeremiah Beasley. Already a touchdown today, 6 carries, 36 yards. Into the air, in Johnson's hands. Brighton gets to the football after a gain of 5. Grant, you made such a great point in the open about the fact that Bryce Underwood has so many different weapons to choose from. You weren't lying to the audience, just to prove you weren't lying. 5 different Belleville Tigers have already caught a pass today.
Doesn't matter. These guys are so athletic and such good players that you can just pick them and put them in a different place, and they'll execute it just as well.
Underwood, the give. And a big gainer for Belleville. That's a first down run for Amonte Adams. They cycle him through. First carry of the game for Adams, and it's another good gainer for Belleville.
Yeah, it is. Ran to the weak side there, away from the field, away from the numbers. Just a good play there. Picked up the first down. Now they're in Belleville territory, and they're cooking with a little bit of gas.
It's the type of day you'd want to cook with gas. Fire up that grill, put a brat on. Just save one for me afterwards. Underwood, incomplete. It's a bit of an awkward throw here, trying to hit Sines.
Yeah, that was just a little bit of a got to be on the same page there. He left him a little bit inside, but just another attribute Bryce Underwood maintains or upholds is that he can step up in the pocket. And he's not afraid to. He's got good footwork. He steps through his throws, and he's tall too, so he can throw in that well, right? The well being all those big old linemen. I mean, their left tackle's 6'6", so it's hard to sometimes throw over those guys, but Bryce, he can.
Back to the ground, and Adams. Second down run, and it's a good one. First down, Belleville, for an offense. All the shine and all the accolades of the way Bryce Underwood throws the ball. It's just old school power running today.
You're going to see Ray Adams, 21 here, get the outside zone. These linemen are just taught to get to the outside shoulder of the D lineman just to reach block him so that running back has an opportunity to get to the outside here. Brighton's going to have to adjust here because they don't have that edge player, right? They're just falling off the table. The running back is just finding room outside, and it's working right now for Belleville.
Underwood keeps and runs. He'll lean ahead, take a blow, absorb a blow, and get pushed backwards. Frankly, this is something, Grant, that's abnormal for Belleville. They don't really like to run Bryce Underwood all that much.
I know, but when they do, he is effective. And, he's a pass-first, quarterback, but when he's on the run, he's moving well. Right here, you're just going to see a little power read. He's going to hold it right, and that linebacker runs with the running back. He's going to take it up the middle and replace that man's space, the linebacker's space, with the ball, and he does a good job there on that run. Really good mesh point.
Now he's zipping it down the middle. It's in the hands of Kevin Symes, and Belleville back in business. First down, goal to go.
And right there, Bryce Underwood just held it, right? Him holding the ball out, the linebackers have to respect that he might give that ball. He does a good job with the inside slant, just seeing it come open. He's reading that Sam linebacker, that strong linebacker. If he steps down, he's going to replace him with the throw, and he did right there. And first and goal here.
This time they give it. That's why you run a similar action on back-to-back plays. It's a Colby Reed touchdown, his fourth of the year.
So here we go. It's going to be a power read here. So running back's going to be, this is his trajectory. Run it. He's going to hold it. He's watching the backside inside linebacker. So that'd be number 0 there, Hunter Harding. Hunter Harding just stays in the passing lane. So he hands it to Colby Reed, which is just a good option there. And he obviously makes it a good play by putting it in the end zone.
Belleville is going to try for 2 here. Their first PA attempt this afternoon was blocked. Beasley's your back on Underwood's left. They give it to Jeremiah. Waiting for the blocks, and he got him for 2.
You seeing a trend here, Evan?
I mean, is this Belleville or good old-fashioned tight T 36 wham from Tom Mack at Detroit Catholic Central? That's one of Jermain Crowell's coaching idols, and they are running it up the gut, right, left, all over that turf. 14-0 lead. We're back at Brighton High School, where the hometown Bulldogs trailed 14-0 to the Belleville Tigers. Just about halfway into the second quarter. Evan Stockton, Grant Perry, alongside the rest of our outstanding crew. While we have the chance, got to give a shout out to the crew here today. Of course, normally our broadcasts are on Friday evenings, 7 o'clock, so everyone doesn't have to get here super early. Crew got here today at 5 in the morning. God bless them. Stay with us after this ball game for the OT, powered by state champs John Keating and Sidney Carriel. Recap the best of last night and this afternoon right around Michigan high school football, plus post-game reaction from our game of the week right here in Brighton. Tune into the OT, powered by state champs, presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. This week's edition of the OT is going to be fun to watch because not only, Grant, do we get a chance to recap what happened yesterday and what happened here this afternoon in Brighton, but also we can start taking a look ahead to the selection show tomorrow, 6 o'clock, Bally Sports Extra, and all the fun that'll be coming down the playoff run starting next Friday night.
Man, do you remember how fun the Selection Sunday was?
It was great.
Did your team get together? CC, did they get together and go watch it together?
No.
We used to watch it at Shields Pizza over on Telegraph on Southfield Road, or Telegraph Road, excuse me, and we had a blast. We always enjoyed seeing who we're going to play that next week.
This is Carter Gregg on the return for Brighton, and Belleville special teams swarms him as he crosses the 20. You know, it's funny, Grant. As time goes on, some things never change. When you and I were playing high school football about a decade ago, John Keating and Mickey York were announcing where we were going to play. Fast forward a decade later, and they're still announcing where people are going to play. It's fun when things never change, you know what I mean?
It is. It is. Sometimes people are just staples, and it'd be weird seeing anyone else do it. Just so used to seeing those guys call it, and it's honestly become a tradition.
Somewhere, Keats and Mickey York shake their fist at the TV. Sorry, guys. All right, here's Grant Hedderton, the backup quarterback for Brighton, once again on the field. Colin McKernan took a big hit earlier on in this quarter, and we haven't seen him since. Hedderton wants to throw for the first time, and it's a good-looking throw across the middle. The catch made by Millhouse, with Dennis Crawford making the form tackle. Check it, that was Lorenzo Jennings.
Yeah, they're just running mesh concepts here. It's cover 3. You're going to see number 1, Millhouse, coming into the picture. Finds a little bit of a soft zone there. Zone coverage, you want to sit down, right? Because those guys are looking for space. Right there, he finds out the hard way, takes a big hit, but nonetheless catches it. Makes it a 2nd and 5 here, 2nd and 6. So good on them. Let's see them keep moving the ball here.
I know Grant Hedderton for Brighton has pretty much exclusively run the ball today, but he can throw it. He's attempted nearly 50 passes on the season entering today. Wants to throw it again. Swinging it out to Carter Gregg. Race to the left side. And Belleville gets to him after a short gain. Another 3rd down for Brighton. Doesn't it feel like they've been living in this situation today?
Yeah, living in 3rd down. They need to start conquering it here. That was just that last play. They challenged the defense horizontally, right? They just threw the swing pass. It's basically an extended handoff. The quarterback just turns, puts it on number 15, Carter Gregg, and just has makes it a 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, excuse me. And this is a down that they can win. They just got to find the right plays and the right calls here.
In similar situations today, Brighton has exclusively kept it on the ground. And before another 3rd down, Brian Lemons uses his 2nd timeout of the half. Big one coming up for Brighton. Hometown team trying to upset the defending Division I state champs. Big 3rd down for Brighton coming up after this break. And now a message from our friends at the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. This special presentation of MHSA High School Football on Bally Sports Detroit, presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Special edition of Football Fridays on a Saturday afternoon with the KLAA Championship on the line gives us a chance to let you know about some games that happened across the state last night. Cass Tech had to beat Brother Rice to make the playoffs. They did it. Big second half. Both of those teams will make the playoffs. Southfield A&T, who we saw last week on Football Fridays, huge bounce-back win over a very talented River Rouge team. Rockford taking on a Caledonia team that was on cruise control all year. They had a pothole last night. Rockford with a 23-point win against a Caledonia team that usually plays them tough. And then how about Muskegon? Those Big Reds flying under the radar rarely this year. And they beat Nona Shores by 20 points last night. Some big games in the smaller divisions. These are teams we could see at Ford Field in a few weeks, so highlight these names. The defending Division 8 state champions, Hudson, losing a close one to Clinton. Centerville and Buchanan locked in a battle of wits as well. And Freeland just falling short. It's a Freeland Falcons basketball program that seemingly we see on the men's and women's side every single year at the Breslin Center. Hoping to make some noise in the football playoffs starting next week. 3rd down 2 for Brighton. Hatterton play action. Throw. It's caught. Stark made the catch, absorbed the blow, and it should be enough for a first down. Had to take a crunch on that play from James Robinson again.
Good job here by Grant Hettering, quarterback, just rolls out. Quick, easy throw, right? We got to get him easy throws to get him warmed up, feeling good in this game. Just by the tiny hair, he got that first down. But, hey, fresh 4 set of downs here, ready to go. We'll see what Brighton brings out here. 1st and 10 from their 30.
Grant Hettering has thrown the football a couple of times on this drive. Usually he's the running quarterback. They're asking him to throw here. Now he tucks and runs. A long-legged run to the right side. Pushed out of bounds. Late flag. That'll add to the first down carry. It may have been number 6, Dennis Crawford, the guilty party.
They're just running quick game. Double slants with the flat route here, but it's all busy. Grant Hettering comes back to the right side and just does it with his legs there, and then Belleville with a silly flag there, you know, roughing the passer, unsportsmanlike play, conduct there on the late hit. That's going to help Brighton. Brighton wants those type of things, so that plays into Brighton's hands there.
Number 6 at defense, 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
I'm going to stick up for Dennis here. I know Jermain Crowell is going to yell at him. But Jeremiah Beasley is pushing Hettering out of bounds, and Crawford kind of gives him the old Olay, and then he gets the penalty. Was it the right call? Yes. Can you understand Dennis's frustration? Yes.
Here we go. They're in Belleville's territory, and they go to a spread look here. 4 wide. Look for Ashton Tomasi to get involved here. He's one of their best playmakers, number 23.
Speak of the devil, there he is. Grant Perry is a truth teller. This is the best drive of the ball game for the Brighton Bulldogs.
Ashton Tomasi, he's the screen man. They're going to get the ball out here, just throw it left. He's looking downfield, but checks it off, throws it to 23, and it's just a tunnel screen, right? Get upfield and just make people miss. Good gain there, good play. These quick passes are going to be the key here. He's just making guys miss. Boom, making guys miss, making the extra yards count. They need every inch, every yard here, every man doing their job. Ashton does a good job there, number 23, Tomasi.
What was that sound effect you just made? You trying to pull a Chris Berman on me?
I'd say my best Chris Berman.
All right. Whoop! Grant Hettering has looked good on this drive. He'll run it to the right side, cut it up, and gain a couple of yards. You know, Grant, frankly, I wonder. Colin McKernan and Grant Hettering were cycling at the quarterback spot before Colin got hurt. I know the old football cliche is if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. Frankly, does it help Brighton here that they can get continuity with 1 quarterback instead of cycling through 2?
I think so, and it limits the tendencies that Belleville can pick up on, right? We saw that Colin was more of the throwing quarterback here early on before he was out, and now Grant is throwing, right? Grant Hettering, number 18, the backup quarterback. So it's going to maybe play into their favor. Belleville might not be able to anticipate it as much.
Hethering's pass tipped. He was hoping for Millhouse over the middle. And frankly, Grant, no matter who your backup quarterback is, you don't want him in this position, 3rd down and long.
Right here, DN gets his hands here. Rashad Jones, sophomore, does a good job of maintaining the line of scrimmage, but also keeping eyes on the throwing lanes. It's going to be hard to throw over these tall D linemen, and Rashad Jones makes a good play right there that could have been, you know, quarterbacks hate tip balls, right? So that could have been a big Belleville turnover, but Brighton got lucky, and it just dropped short here. So they're going to pick up here 3rd down and about an 8.
Hettering rolling right, waiting, throwing, nearly intercepted. Crawford had the coverage, and now you got a decision to make. Brighton has made a 42-yard field goal this year. From this spot of the field, that's right around the range for Braden Childs. Brian Lemons will send the field goal unit on. Hettering, the quarterback, is the holder. Just saying. It's a 41-yard field goal for Childs. Good snap, good hold, and the kick. He got it. That is a tight end who just made a field goal of over 40 yards. What a kick.
What a kick. That was huge, too. That gives Brighton a little bit of a boost there. 14-3. Puts them on the scoreboard, brings up the energy a little bit on the sideline. That's a good drive they put together. 14-3. They're not out of this, man. This is a good ball game we got going on here.
No, we were talking earlier about how Brighton is battle tested, and they had a battle early in the year. They beat Heartland 9-7 because of the man we just saw. How about Braden Childs knocking one home? On the road, hostile environment, no problems. Right down the chute. And then late in that ball game, Heartland team that will be in the playoffs and hoping for a run came up just short in week number 3 of the season. You know, that's a point, Grant, that you just brought up that, frankly, we can't undersell with this Brighton team. I know they fell behind early, and they're facing a great Belleville team, but they've been in similar situations this year. They're not going to bend over. They're not going to fall over in this ball game. They're not going to roll right over to the other team, you know what I mean?
Right. It's the old saying goes, bend, don't break, right? Now, Belleville may have their times where they score, right? But we haven't seen really any huge plays out of Belleville, which I think is good on Brighton's defensive end. But the mentality, bend, don't break.
Andre McDade on the field. Let's watch this kick. It's a pop-up kick to the right side. Trying to mitigate a Belleville return. They were trying to throw it back to the other side of the field. There were a lot of moving parts to that play. We're going to have to get another look at this one.
Belleville had something brewing here. They were trying to do a little bit of a toss pass out of the kick return here. They're going to pooch it up. Brighton's going to pooch it up to number 7. He's going to throw it, try to throw it back across field, but he just didn't like it. I think it was because Kevin Sims was a little bit ahead of him, right? You can't throw forward passes when you're doing, Symes. You can't do forward passes when you're, anything besides the QB on an offensive set. So, actually a heads-up play there by number 7.
All right, Grant, let's see how Belleville attacks this drive. Both of their touchdowns have come on the ground. They get the ball to start the second half, and Brighton only has 1 timeout left. So if Jermain Crowell wants to attack it this way, they can hang on to the ball rest of the half and maybe go 2 for 1. We got a flag first.
Delay a game, offense, still first down.
Those are the part of pre-snap penalties that are just going to make Jermain Crowell frustrated. Well, you take out the fumble on the first drive of the game, and that is a graphic that is going to make Jermain Crowell smile ear to ear. They'll throw to the left side here, try to navigate the traffic, and they can't do it. This is a loss. Bryce Underwood has been efficient throwing the football today. Hasn't thrown one yet. Just shy of 1,700 passing yards, 23 touchdowns, 2 interceptions for number 19 in white. Widely considered the best quarterback in the sophomore class. It's the class of 2025. Underwood on second down long. He's got the time to take a deep shot, and it's caught. Going downfield. There is the 6th different man to catch a pass for Belleville today. It's Trey Stevens.
And Bryce just does a fantastic job. Watch how he looks right, gets the safety to come inside. He gets Joseph Stevens with a great route right here to just run under the ball. Gives him enough air to fall under enough. And just a fantastic job there. Hard catch, really good throw, good timing. Belleville first down at the 50.
Give Beasley running room that's swallowed up quickly. That is still a very solid gain on first down. And again, Grant, I'm curious to see how Belleville attacks this scenario. Frankly, they got a scenario here where they can go up 28-3 and put this game out of reach early on to the second half if they play it right.
Right. And that's definitely in the back of the coaches' minds right now. And they're just focused right now on trying to put together good plays here.
It's Beasley again. Stopped initially and then kept moving forward. Awfully close to the first down. That's Griffin Bell, number 6 in orange and black, helping to make the play. Awesome story for the senior who missed all of last year with a torn ACL. Very happy to have him back in the lineup this year for the Brighton Bulldogs. Coming up at the half, John Keating and Sidney Carriel will have highlights from around the state, preview today's overtime show, powered by state champs. But also, be sure to stay for the story of the Brighton Unified program. It's become such an integral part of the culture here at Brighton High School. We'll show you why anyone can be a Brighton Bulldog. It's a really moving story, and we really encourage you to hang around for that coming up at the half. It's so much of the fun of our Football Fridays coverage throughout the fall is getting to spotlight great communities like the one they have here at Brighton High School. I'm going to take a wild guess. The theme today was camo in the student section. It's a pretty good guess on my part, just going to say. Grant, again, here we go. 90 seconds to go, first half. First down 10 at Brighton's 38.
What?
Belleville has shown the propensity to run this afternoon. This time it's a throw and a great defensive play. My goodness, Ryan Velarde has been all over the place. There is a flag down as well.
Just a good job here by the cornerback, Ryan Velarde. You'll see him coming into the picture here. He beats Kevin Symes on the block and just makes it his. He said, hey, this is my side of the field. I'm not going to let you take advantage of me over on this side.
Pass behind the line of scrimmage.
So whatever the penalty was, they picked it up. 2 timeouts for Belleville, 1 for Brighton. That clock is going to keep rolling toward a minute to go. Belleville does have a pretty good kicker in Braden Lane. Underwood hoping to throw. Another strike down the middle. How fun is it to watch this man sling it? That's Yarborough on the catch. Michael Yarborough, the 7th different Belleville Tiger to catch a pass today. Underwood again, with time again. Down the middle, incomplete. He wanted Crawford. Gregorich had the coverage.
Belleville's doing a good job here. They're just scheming up. They understand what Brighton is trying to do on defense, right? They're running a cover 4 look here. So Bryce knows that the inside number 2 receiver is taken, so he goes outside, and he's got outside leverage, the cornerback, right? So that post is there. He tried to hit Dennis Crawford there across the middle of the field, but just missed a little bit. A little bit of a lower ball might have got him in the end zone, but let's see what they do here. Double split, 2 wide receivers on each side.
Underwood to throw again. Another fastball caught. Inside the 10 they go again. Yarborough, 2nd catch of the drive.
Right. Right, and then it's cover 4 again right there. And one of the weaknesses is in cover 4, 4 deep defenders. That out route is going to be available. Free access, easy throw for Bryce Underwood. That's basically a handoff.
First down goal. Underwood rolling, looking, throw, end zone, Symes. No. Kevin thought he was in, couldn't keep those feet in bounds.
Now let's see if he got in here, right? Good ball placement. You want to place that ball in the back corner of the end zone, and it looks like Kevin Symes got robbed of a time. Oh, maybe he didn't control it through the catch. The grounding kind of affected it. So good call there by the Stripes. Let's see what they do here. 2nd and goal. They've been throwing it. They're trying to save a little bit of time here with 39 seconds left, putting the ball in their playmaker's hands. Bryce Underwood, number 19.
Bryce hoping for his first touchdown pass of the afternoon. He's got it on 2nd down goal. It's intercepted! Read all the way by the Brighton defense. They just got one of their biggest plays of the season. Tip your cap to the backup linebacker, Luke Whitaker.
Belleville is running a bunch set to the right. You can't see the receivers, but he's waiting. Bryce is kind of telegraphing it, right? Luke Whitaker, the linebacker, number 10, just sits in that zone, right? Heels on the goal line. Watch the quarterback's eyes. He'll take you to the play. He sits, he fades out to his zone, and Kevin Symes runs a negative route, right? He's got to stay flat on that to cross the defender's face on the goal line. You put the low balls on the goal line. You put the high balls on the back end line of the end zone, right there. Miscommunication, a little bit of a route depth issue, and Bryce just throws one, and Brighton keeps getting these plays, right? These are huge, right? That just takes 7 points off the board. Good on Brighton's end here.
Luke Whitaker, number 10, is playing for Luke Freisinger, the injured 3-year starter for Brighton. Belleville does have the 2 timeouts. Hetterton under center with a power running look behind him. Play clock at 4. Now at 2. And Lemons had to burn the final timeout. No timeouts remaining for Brighton. Just about 30 seconds to go in the first half. The Hometown Showdown is a chance for your high school to be crowned the best Football Fridays fan base. Vote right now in the weekly poll on the Bally Sports Detroit Twitter page. The winning school earns the official Hometown Showdown neon sign to display in their school, and they'll have year-long bragging rights as well. The poll closes Monday for Brighton and Belleville. Keep on voting throughout the weekend. There's that neon sign. I still have not figured out, Grant, if they've made a copy, because I would love that.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
I'm just going to keep asking on air if there's another copy.
Where would you put it? Above your bed? Where at?
Maybe, why not?
Okay, I like it.
Maybe in the man cave, you never know.
Yep. Absolutely.
We love a good neon sign in the man cave.
Adds character.
Oh, absolutely. You kidding? All right, so Brian Lemons just burned the final timeout of the half for Brighton. How do you think he feels about this first half?
There's a couple ways to look at it, right? Belleville is averaging 50 points a game right now. They're on track to score 28 if they keep the same pace. So good on that end. Offensively, you got to try to figure out something here to move the ball, to keep them guessing. The last drive Brighton had was really good. I'd just like to see them take it a step further and just put that thing in the end zone. They're going to need points here. This is kind of building up here. If they can hold on to this ball, they can possibly build a little bit of that 2019 hold the ball mentality.
Well, Grant, you've been saying all half. Right now, Brighton's mindset, bend, don't break. They certainly did on that last defensive series. Belleville got inside the 10. Bryce Underwood threw just his 3rd interception of the season. And the hometown fans here in Brighton, their football team still has a pulse as we approach the start of the second half. Couple of running touchdowns in the first half for Belleville. Colby Reed had one and Jeremiah Beasley had the other. Let's take a look at the first. Here's Jeremiah Beasley plowing in from a yard. Touchdown number 15 of the year for the outstanding junior running back. Here's number 2. It's Colby Reed. His 4th touchdown of the year. Colby had touchdowns in the state semis and state championship game last year. He's a guy who is not averse to pressure. And Belleville, competing for a KLAA conference championship this afternoon, has got a 14-3 lead at the break. Got to go grab everything to get those electrolytes working again for the Brighton Bulldogs. When you're taking on the speed and raw talent of the Belleville Tigers, yeah, you're going to need a little bit more juice as you approach the start of the second half. Perfect fall day here at Brighton High School. No place in the world we would rather be. Head coach Jermain Crowell for the Belleville Tigers standing by. Coach, appreciate a couple of minutes here. Overall, what'd you make of those first 2 quarters of the ball game for your team?
I thought it was a good football on both sides of the ball. Wasn't a lot of flags. 2 good teams, fighting in between the trenches. It was a good game. It's a good game.
What'd you make of the sequence at the end of the first half with Bryce throwing that interception at the goal line?
Well, I think the coverage that one of the receivers didn't run the arrow route where he thought he was going to be. Just when you get a chance to kill, and I thought maybe we could have ran the ball, you know, with us still having 2 timeouts, you know, take a few shots running the ball and getting lined back up and get them off beat. But, you know, we'll work on it at halftime. I mean, we got a whole half to try to make adjustments now. You know, they got a really good coaching staff, and I know with them being down their quarterback, we're about to get a whole lot of run.
Coach, appreciate your time. Best of luck in the second half.
All right, thanks.
Jermain Crowell going for his 80th all-time win in year number 8 with the Belleville Tigers. This is the consensus top high school team in the state of Michigan. And 2 quarters in, they look like it. A 14-3 lead. Halftime coming up right after this.
Belleville came in averaging 54 points a game. The question today was, could Brighton slow them down? Not so far, 14-3 at halftime. It's a Saturday, but we welcome you to our Football Fridays Overtime show. Football Fridays Overtime powered by State Champs. I'm John Keating with the State Champs' own Sydney Carriel with you. In a battle of titans like we have on the field and on Bally Sports today, you need everything you've got. And yet Brighton loses their starting quarterback, Colin McKernan, early in this one. There was a big hit by James Robinson, and McKernan was down for a while. He ended up coming off the field under his own power. There was a targeting penalty that was called. It looked like a clean hit to the shoulder of McKernan, but you see his head snap back, and so he had to be helped off the field, and he's been on the Brighton bench ever since. And so the Brighton team sort of shrugging that aside, and they're down only 14-3 to the powerful Belleville Tigers. We're getting ready for the overtime show. We'll follow that story as our day unfolds, but Sydney is going to give us a taste of what we're looking forward to and highlights when we see you right after the final gun.
Yeah, we had a ton of action around the state last night and Thursday, so we'll get right into it. We'll head out to Lapeer as they hosted the 8th best team in the state. Davison, South Lyon East played host to South Lyon, and get this, the Cougars beat their crosstown rivals for just the 2nd time in school history. Gibraltar Carlson is co-Downriver League champs for the 2nd season in a row as they beat Woodhaven, and Grosse Pointe South takes down Grosse Pointe North for the 5th straight season. All good games there.
We'll also do a deep dive into must-win games for teams that are sitting on the playoff bubble. Anchor Bay needed to beat Stony Creek in order to secure a postseason berth. Ferndale took on St. Clair Lakeshore to try to get into postseason contention. The Battle of Birmingham was not only for bragging rights, but to see if Birmingham Groves was going to have a shot of getting to Ford Field this year. And Cass Tech needed to beat Brother Rice to lock up a spot in Division I. And the technicians played like it. Their offense was clicking as they put up 33 points, capped off by a stellar over-the-shoulder grab from Central Michigan commit Javen Sewell. Cass Tech will head to the postseason with a 33-14 win.
Well, a matchup between unbeaten Rockford and Caledonia last night, and it was a big game for Mr. Football candidate Mac Vandenhoy of Rockford. The senior quarterback racked up 2 rushing touchdowns, this one from 25 yards out, as Rockford rolls to a 38-15 win.
It was also a night to remember for another Mr. Football candidate, Isaiah Marshall of Southfield A&T. Watch him weave his way here in from 42 yards out for the first of his 3 rushing touchdowns last night. He'd also had a touchdown pass en route to a 28-21 victory over River Rouge.
And the running game continues here. Let's head on to Muskegon, where Mona Shores took on their rival, the Big Reds of Muskegon. Third quarter, slot receiver Destin Piggy receives the handoff and takes it 48 yards to the house. The Big Reds take this one 55-38 to finish the regular season 7-2. We will have full highlights of all of the games we just showed you and many more after the game here on the high school overtime show powered by State Champs.
And on top of the highlights, we will have post-game reaction from all around the state. Last night, including a trip to the UP, where snow has already factored into the high school football schedule. You want to see some of the scenes up there. The Brighton football team may be involved in a big game with Belleville this afternoon, but it's not as big as the program created at the school to make sure special education students get an opportunity to be involved in sports as well. We'll have that story when we come right back. This special presentation of high school football on Bally Sports Detroit is brought to you by Legacy Football, the #1 football development program in Michigan. And by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Think Ford first. 14-3 Belleville at the break in Brighton on a glorious Saturday afternoon in southeastern Michigan. Brighton High School has plenty of sports programs available for their students, but there is one special program that makes sure that everyone can play no matter what. Natalie Kerwin shares the story of Brighton Unified Sports, a program that partners special education athletes with peer students to develop social skills, to build friendships, and to foster Bulldog pride.
When I say the words Brighton Unified Sports, what feelings come to mind?
Well, for me, it's pride, hope.
1, 2, 3, dogs.
Just the excitement.
Let's go.
They can just be themselves and do their things, and I learn a lot from them, and it's really cool.
So Unified Sports pairs students with disabilities and students without disability together to train and compete athletically in the idea that it's a path to friendship and acceptance.
It's really bloomed into something huge. And I think the coolest thing is it ranges from captains of the varsity football team to, people that are individuals that aren't necessarily in a sport or a club or anything like that. And everyone kind of feels welcomed, and we include everybody, and it's just a really cool thing to do.
Lights, camera, action.
Like this, big and tall.
1, 2, 3. Perfect. Extra clap. I love it.
On with the show.
With the show. Well, I hear Brighton Unified has a lot of different sports. What sports do you play?
I play 3, and they are soccer, basketball, and bocce ball.
Wow, you must be pretty busy doing all of those.
Of course.
What one is your favorite?
Basketball.
Why is basketball your favorite?
So I love shooting baskets, and after I make every basket, I'm pretending that I'm shooting an arrow.
He's just so outgoing and one of the nicest people I've ever met. So it just kind of seemed perfect that we became friends and became partners. It was just like a perfect chance for us to hang out more and outside of the school environment.
What's been one of your favorite parts about the program, or like a favorite memory maybe you two have shared?
Well,
you want to go first?
I have a favorite memory.
Is it about sports?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
The first time I was trying to play basketball, I didn't know how to bounce the basketball, but now I do.
We all worked on it together, right?
Yeah.
Dribble, big cat, go, go, go!
What sport's your favorite?
I will play basketball.
Basketball? What do you do after you score?
I will whip and nay-nay.
You whip and nay-nay?
Yeah.
Yeah, you hit your dance.
Can you show us a little whip and
Show us
nay-nay?
it. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Jack, are you doing it with him?
Oh yeah, everyone's hitting the whip and nay-nay, right?
The spin.
Oh, yeah.
Gabe, go play defense.
Go play defense. First off, Gabe's like a celebrity in the school, so everyone wants to be with this guy. But we were kind of on the court, and I'm like, oh, Gabe, you're killing it out there. So I don't know, we kind of just clicked right away.
Can you tell me a little about Jack and what you like about him?
We're the brother.
We're brothers?
Yes.
All right.
I love it. So you guys have a close friendship now, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My team.
Your team.
Yeah. Ooh. When you guys have seen these relationships formed between both students, what do you think each of them get out of this?
I think that they're going to take a piece of this and it will change the way they interact with people, maybe more acceptance, more understanding. I don't think you can participate in something like this and not be changed for the better. Sports is something that just brings us together, and we're more alike than we are different. And we've never had someone that has left an event and said, boy, that was a waste of my time.
Yeah, for sure.
I am Jack Prayer. I am coach of the bit from Electric Sports. I think I'm really good.
What partners do you like playing with?
Caitlin.
Caitlin.
And Devin.
And Devin.
And Drew.
Drew. So everyone on the team you like playing with?
Yeah.
All right.
I think Brighton has done an amazing job embracing all of this. I've had people who told me like they've cried at the games just because of how good the energy is and how much of like a community Brighton puts together for these games. And it just makes like the culture of inclusivity here is just like an amazing thing. And it's just a great thing that Brighton's a part of and takes part in and tries to get every student involved in. So
that's nice.
That's nice, yeah.
Natalie, great stuff, and way to go to all the Brighton kids. Great program with great kids that help make it work. We're getting closer to the second half, 14-3 the score. It's a big day for high school football teams all around the state tomorrow. We'll have details on that when halftime continues. Get us going.
We have all of your high school football highlights for you coming up after the game on the OT show. But don't forget to tune in tomorrow at 6 p.m. for the MHSAA selection show. We will reveal all the first round pairings and do a full breakdown of all 8 divisions and both 8-player divisions tomorrow night at 6 p.m. right here on Bally Sports Detroit. We're getting ready for the second half of this one. Belleville 14 and Brighton 3. We'll be right back after this.
The KLAA title is on the line as we get you back to Brighton in a moment. The battle of unbeatens. Someone's perfect autumn is going to end today. Evan Stockton and Grant Perry rejoin you for the third quarter next as our Saturday edition of Football Fridays, powered by State Champs, continues.
Back here in Brighton, Brian Lemons, the head coach for the Brighton Bulldogs, standing by. Coach, appreciate a couple of minutes here. First off, do you have any update for us on Colin McKernan, your starting quarterback who left in the first half with an injury?
He's going to be out for the second half. We're sitting him down, making sure everything's good with him before we have moving on to the playoffs. We're just going to be every precaution necessary.
How does your offense change without Colin as the starting quarterback?
I probably just have to be a little bit more careful with what we do with the quarterback. But outside of that, both those guys have been fighting for that starting job all year.
What's the keys for your club here to come back and win the ball game in the second half?
We got to get a stop right here on this first drive, and then hopefully convert that into a couple points. Try and cut this lead down for the fourth quarter and then kind of open it up on them.
Appreciate your time, Coach. Best of luck.
Awesome, man. Thanks.
Coach Brian Lemons in the midst of his 8th year as the head coach for the Brighton Bulldogs. Frankly, Grant, when we look at the stats on the screen, yeah, it partially tells the story of why Belleville is winning the game, but don't forget about the couple of turnovers that Brighton has made defensively on Belleville's offense. Still in this game.
Yeah, they are. And right now the stats are a little lopsided, right? Belleville's doing what they want to do. They're marching down the field. But as you see, the score 14-3, still in it, Brighton is. And in the time of possession, they're actually winning that. And that's predicated off these 2 turnovers right here. And that's going to just, determine the game.
Time to look back at our Menards big money moments. Frankly, in a game where we expected a lot of offense, we got some good defensive plays. Here you have a strip and a fumble recovery for Brighton and Andrew Stewart. Later on in the first half, here's the play that saw Colin McKernan leave the game. Just a huge hit by James Robinson for the Belleville Tigers. Expecting to see Colin back in the playoffs and excited to see him work next week. And then this play could very well prove to be pivotal if Brighton comes back and wins. That's Luke Whitaker, the backup linebacker, playing in the place of the injured Luke Freisinger with the massive INT. Injuries abound for the Brighton Bulldogs today. Their quarterback is now out. Their starting running back has not played today. One of their leading tacklers has not played today. Grant, trying to beat Belleville at any point is a challenge, but when you're missing 3 of your biggest horses, I'm sure that entire team and coaching staff is going, it's not even playing with 1 arm behind our back. It's like 1.5 arms behind our back.
Yeah, arms behind your back, blindfolded. You're kind of stuck in a corner right here if you're Brighton, but they're going to keep playing hard. They're going to try to make something out of this here, the second half. They want to get a stop here. They want to get the ball back, and they want to get their offense in a better groove than they had in the first half.
Here's Griffin Lawson to kick it away. Pop-up kick that he tried earlier. It's Marquise Peoples on the return. Got a stiff arm. Got a block. And dragged a tackler up near the 45. Offense for the Belleville Tigers coming back in the field. Bryce Underwood's first half ended with just his 3rd interception of the season. Grant, what did you make of the offensive play for the Belleville Tigers in that first half?
You know, it was good. You know, coming into this game, we thought Brighton was going to be the one that had these 8, 9, 10-play drives. But Belleville's been putting together drives. They've been getting down into the red zone. That play before half, they want that one back. Belleville does a turnover. But right here, they're at really good field position, and they got a good opportunity here to put some points on the board.
Both their touchdowns have come on the ground. It's back in the hands of Beasley, who's busted a big one. Jeremiah Beasley, what a heck of a start to the second half.
Here we go, first play of the half. They're just running a little power, a little same side power. Running back's gonna be the same side as the QB. He gets up in the hole, beats the first line of defenders. And look at 14 right here, making a block downfield, making it count. Those are the plays that are gonna have to happen if they wanna have success here.
It's caught by Yarborough, the man who just had that big block. Now he's got his 3rd catch of the game, and Belleville back in business.
And look you put a good block on tape, coaches are gonna reward you. They get Mike Kell there a catch, and now they're already down inside the 10.
Yarborough only had 7 catches on the season before today. They were trying to get him back in that offense. Run for Colby Reed. Gained a couple.
Good job by Brighton right here, just holding the line, man. It's going to be a trench war in these red zones and in these short distances. And Brighton's shown that they are going to compete down there, right? They're not going to just let you score on them. They're going to make you drive it every yard of the field. Good play there by the defensive line of Brighton.
Remember, on that drive to end the first half, Belleville got in a similar spot and threw an interception. Take 2 on this drive.
Wonder if they're going to run it or pass it here. I bet they run it.
They'll pass it and throw it high. Open for Yarborough.
Now just... Yeah, so there's just another QB read, a RPO. As you see the film right here, they're just going to be running inside zone. So Bryce's eyes are on that backside linebacker. He's looking to see if there's a window to make the throw. There was a little bit of a better ball, a little bit of a lower ball would have resulted in a touchdown there, but they got a good play selection down here. It makes it really hard on the defense to stay true to their assignments.
3rd down goal from the 9. It's Beasley running left. Brighton stops him initially short of the goal line. He's trying to get there. He didn't. And it's 4th and goal from inside the 1. This is one of those plays which flips a ball game one way or the other. Crowell wants him to go here.
Decision time here for Belleville. They got a heavy set in here. They got the big hosses up front. I think they might have 1 receiver out there, maybe. They got a couple tight ends, couple extra linemen. If that says anything, that says run here. But let's see what they decide to do. This is a crucial down here, crucial play.
Underwood running, untouched, touchdown.
Bryce Underwood with quarterback keeper.
Bryce Underwood, who's usually throwing touchdowns, runs for 1 here.
Now, when Bryce Young does decide to run, he does a good job of it, and he makes it count. Those 2 guys right there I just circled, Rashad Jones and Nate Johnson, do a good job of just moving that line of scrimmage. They run to the weak side. Brighton doesn't have the numbers advantage there, and Bryce Underwood could have crawled into the end zone on that play there. So good play, good design, and you see there 4th down and you need it. Coach Crowell goes back to the run game.
That is another high snap. This extra point is good for Belleville. The first today was blocked. Bryce Underwood, the top sophomore quarterback in America. A rarity. It's a running touchdown. Belleville has been eating Brighton alive on the ground today. Three straight rushing touchdowns for the Belleville Tigers in this ball game. They're outstanding. Sophomore quarterback Bryce Underwood just had the last. Frankly, Grant, the level of quarterback play in this state is a little ridiculous. we couldn't fit all of the outstanding quarterbacks in the state of Michigan on that screen, including Bryce Underwood, including Isaiah Marshall, who we saw last week with Southfield A&T on Football Fridays. I would have to imagine, with all of these great quarterbacks in the state of Michigan, you see Bryce Underwood on the bottom right side of the screen, but he's competing with all of those guys, led by Dante Moore, who's one of the better senior quarterbacks in America. A rising tide lifts all ships, and that's kind of what's happening in this state right now.
Yeah, it is. And Bryce was the youngest guy on that list, and he's going to be on that list for the years to come. Just fantastic play around the state. Everyone's going different places. I saw Pac-12, Big Ten. I saw baseball, SEC commit. The level of play in Michigan right now is fantastic at the quarterback position.
Now, the quarterback position for Brighton today has been a tricky position. Colin McKernan and Grant Hedderton have both taken snaps. McKernan was knocked out of the ball game on a hard hit from James Robinson in the first half. So Hedderton comes on the field in the second half. Let's be blunt here, Grant. Brighton is not a team that is built to come back from 18 down in the second half. How do they try to do that with a backup quarterback?
It's tough. You got to stay within what he understands. And I mean Grant Hedderton, number 18. So they're going to have to find plays to let him kind of, play a little bit free. We saw more passing towards the end of the second half there. Let's see if they kind of continue that. But whatever they do, they need positive plays and points.
First run of this initial drive of the second half is Nathan Stark, the sophomore running back, normally the backup, getting the start today because their senior star, Carson Schrader, who would run for 11 touchdowns this season, entering today. He hasn't played all day due to injury. Carson and Colin, starting quarterback, starting running back, both not playing today. Run again, same play for Stark, and this is a good one. How about that lower leg drive for a first down?
That's fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah, good offensive line push by the center and right guard here. Just, staying low. Nate Stark stays low. Linebackers don't know where he's at. Good blocking up front. Puts his arms in his pad level down and drives there. Gets a first down. That is a huge sign of relief for Brighton. Getting that first down outside of the half. First half, that being.
Stark's size helps on runs like that. He's listed 5'6", 165. Got to hide behind those big guys on the offensive line, huh?
Yeah, sometimes it works.
He'll run again, and this time get nothing. That is Lamar Fairfax with one heck of a play.
Low man wins in those situations, and Lamar brings a little bit more pounds to the play there, and you just can't get through that sometimes, and that's just that's a brick wall he tried to go through, and no luck there.
Number 54 in white, Lamar Fairfax, still just a sophomore. I have a feeling we'll be hearing more from him in the years to come. Already heard from him a bunch today. That's the thing about this Belleville team. There are barely any seniors on the roster. Sophomores and juniors all over the place. Hedderton, the pump and the roll, looking for real estate, and he got some on the outside. Good-looking play.
Hey. And I don't know if that was by design or not, but sometimes those wacky plays turn out to be good ones, right? The defense is looking all into the field here for the screen. Quarterback ends up just eating the throw and just turns right and just bolts for the sideline. Belleville wasn't ready for it. Hey, some of these funky plays might help him here.
That is a funky play for the Brighton Bulldogs, which sets up a third down and short. Officially third down and 2. The line to gain the 47. On the ground, it's the first carry of the game for Harding, who somehow is still not down. Hunter Harding, you talk about low leg drive. That is a first down. I mean, come on, he's wearing a neck roll. Just give him the ball and let him plow ahead, you know what I mean?
When I think of Catholic Central, your old alma mater, that's what I think of. The neck rolls, the big fullbacks, the linebackers playing running back. That brought me back to the high school days there, and I don't miss those.
What do you think? Is Nico Palizzetti watching this ball game? Hey, you're the one who brought up CC. You're the Brother Ice guy over here.
I did.
You walked right into that trap.
I did.
Another give. And once again, Belleville's defensive line is having their way at times up front. That is Ronald Jackson that time.
Belleville's going to try to run a little bit of a power here. One puller, 52. Ronald Jackson, the two-way starter for them, just says nope, wraps him up, plays a good gap sound play there, plays the inside, plays the outside. Running back didn't have anywhere to go, ends up getting wrapped up there. And when Ronald Jackson gets his hands on you, you're not going to get away.
Yeah, we're talking about the youth of Belleville. Frankly, the most experienced part of their team is the D-line. They got 2 senior starters in the middle, and Ronald Jackson, who's a junior. Brighton forced to burn a timeout, and Brian Lemon's beside himself.
Timeout. Brighton, 1st and a half.
As he called that timeout, Lemons took the play sheet and smacked the turf like he was trying to swat an annoying fly. Before the upcoming play, let's get a message from the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers.
Returning AZ Plan lessees can order an F-150 today and lease it for $299 a month for 24 months. Only at your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Think Ford first.
It's a unique situation for us here. We're broadcasting Football Fridays, a special Saturday edition this week. That also means there's some other big games going on around the state. In the Battle of Waterford, Mott leading Kettering 20-7. And if you've been watching our Michigan high school football state finals coverage for the last decade or so, you know that Traverse City, St. Francis, and Detroit Country Day have a pretty good shot to be at Ford Field Thanksgiving weekend. That one just started between St. Francis and Country Day. Bishop Foley, Cardinal Mooney, Napoleon, and Union City also in action this afternoon. Isn't it remarkable, Grant, the change in weather we have had from the beginning of the week? It was snowing here in Brighton 48 hours ago.
Man, fantastic. The football gods looked down upon us and said, let there be light and let there be warmth, which is amazing, and couldn't ask for a better day of football.
Should have texted you about a tea time after the broadcast. A missed opportunity. Hatterton off play action again, throwing and got it caught. This is the best passing play of the day for the Brighton Bulldogs. The good-looking drive continues. Carter Gregg, the catch.
Brighton does a good job right here. They're incorporating the run. They've been running the ball this second half to start. They do a little run action to the right, or the left, excuse me, and they roll Grant to the right. Grant Hettering finds his target, number 15, Carter Gregg, and that's a good completion there. Now they're marching, right? They're in Belleville's territory, kind of putting Belleville on their heels. Good calls here by Brighton and their offensive coordinator, moving the ball.
Brighton kicked a 40-yard field goal in the first half. This is one of their better drives of the afternoon. Frankly, the comeback hopes rest on getting a touchdown on this drive. Flag on the play, it looks like delay a game on Brighton.
That's just, having 2 QBs, one not experienced, one that's been playing more. That's the downfall of having your backup come in. Just not as much clock awareness. Just not as seasoned in game as Colin McKernan, and that's just a little tidbit there on the quarterback. Got to pay attention to the clock.
Colin McKernan knocked out of the game in the first half. According to Brian Lemons, the Brighton head coach, he is not going to play in the second half. Run to the right, but not very much. Belleville swarming around that football well and stopping Ashton Tomasi on his first carry of the ball game. Make sure to stay with us after today's game for the OT, powered by state champs John Keating, Sidney Carriel are going to recap the best of last night and today around Michigan high school football. Plus, we'll have post-game reaction from right here in Brighton. Tune into the OT, powered by state champs and presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. A lot for Keats and Sidney to discuss after this ball game wraps up. Everybody in the state of Michigan will find out who they're playing in the playoffs tomorrow, 6 o'clock on Bally Sports Extra. Hatterton trying to navigate the pocket, couldn't do it. Belleville gets home. A couple of guys there setting up third down and forever.
They're just trying to roll their quarterback to the left there. That's a tough throw Grant Headering is rolling to the left, you know, not his dominant side, trying to find his targets. They're still in the zone coverage over there, Belleville is, so, you know, he's kind of trying to find the open guy, and the D-line just contains him and just rushes him. He doesn't have enough time, tries to cut it back to make something happen, but he kind of falls right into the defense's hands there and just, you know, tackle for loss there. Third and a country mile here. Let's see how they approach this one.
Stark is the back to the right of Headerton. Grant rolling away, setting up a screen, trying to hit Stark. No, sir. Jeremiah Beasley can do it both ways.
Yeah, you're not going to get much past Jeremiah. Really good sense of awareness by him, you know, seeing that everything's kind of disappearing from him, but he finds the guy that they were trying to hit on the pass play, Ashton Tomasi, number 23. Look at here, number 1, just hawking down Nate Stark, excuse me, and that's just not a matchup Brighton wants to live in right there. You know, Jeremiah Beasley is a heck of an athlete, and he just shows it there.
Remember, Headerton, the current quarterback, is also the punter, so we could see a pooch here. They'll try it. Why the heck not? Incomplete. Hoping for Millhouse. No flag. Headerton stood in there tall and tried to make the throw, Grant. It's tough to make a good throw with this pressure.
Yeah, it is. When you feel those guys coming up, maybe a tad late, but he kind of held up. That's Lamar Fairfax Jr. You know, a little bit of acting, but, you know, Belleville's ball here. That was a long 4th down conversion they tried to have, and, you know, this is not what you wanted if you're Brighton, right? You wanted to kind of go down there and put some points on the board. And now this is kind of Belleville's opportunity here to light that rocket ship, right? To, you know, keep adding these points.
That rocket ship hasn't been grounded. 21 points. I suppose by Belleville standards, they've been grounded. The Tigers average 53 points a game, and they've scored at least 40 in 10 straight, dating back to last season. Underwood, deep shot, long arcing throw, incomplete, flag. Andrew Stewart got locked up with Dennis Crawford.
Interference, defense, first down.
Bryce throws a lot of air under this ball to number 6, Dennis Crawford, but the air kind of helps him out, right? Dennis Crawford has to come back to the ball, and he can't. He's limited because Andrew Stewart, number 8, is in the way. Penalty, I think it's a good call there. You know, he interrupted his path to the catch. You know, a little bit less air, and that might have been a catch and you know, a bigger conversion there, but nonetheless, it's an opportunity ball that Bryce threw, and it paid off there for 15 yards.
Sometimes the underthrow works. It worked there. Underwood, given time, setting up a screen. Kevin Symes with room. Flag coming down. This could be coming back. Now we have another flag behind the play as a couple of guys got tangled up. Overall, this has been a pretty well-played ball game. Not a ton of laundry. They threw the first flag typically where you get holding. Let's see how they sort this out. Chuck Walters in the white hat, sorting it all out. Here we go.
Holding, offense, 10-yard penalty from the flag.
All right, let's look and see, Grant, on this replay if we can catch the hold.
Yeah, they just run a little shallow route, trying to catch it under the coverage here. Yeah, and yeah, it gets a little bit of a hold there on 33. Brendan Boley, that's going to get called. As soon as they see that jersey and the player can't get outside of it and that jersey's kind of getting pulled to the side, they're going to throw that every time.
45-yard line.
Maybe a 21-3 ball game, but Jermain Crowell is not going to stop coaching. Similar looking play to this side of the field, and Symes can't spring it for a first down, but it is up to the 40-yard line.
He's one of their most explosive playmakers, right? You give him a little, throw out to the sideline, just a simple screen, and he could turn that into a touchdown. Good game there on first down.
Play action Beasley. Incomplete behind the intended target of Johnson.
And that's tough. Are you seeing the kind of pattern Belleville has here, right? They got about 4 defenders. Brighton's defense are just dropping back their secondary players, and they're just dinking and dunking underneath. And that's hard on these linebackers because they're running a 5-man front. There's only 2 guys underneath to cover those zones. So it's really hard for those linebackers to stay out there and relate. Belleville's trying to take advantage of that, and they're finding success here with it.
All their touchdowns today have come on the ground. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Beasley bouncing off initial pressure, lowering the shoulder, and gaining the first down. Man, how impressive is this run for Jeremiah Beasley, huh?
I mean, you thought he was going to get tackled in the backfield. He kind of just runs up the middle, gets everyone to suck in, and then he just bounces it outside, and no one's got a good angle. He only needed about 3 to 4 yards there and gets, 5 or 6. This guy, Jeremiah Beasley, has got great vision on offense, and he's a heck of a player on defense as well. He's one of their workhorses. No surprise there that he was able to bounce that and make something of it.
Frankly, Grant, I think we're learning a lot about this Belleville team today and the style of play that Brighton has forced them into. Underwood, the pump, the deep shot, man wide open. That is a touchdown. Michael Yarborough off a dime from Bryce Underwood, who all fall long has been telling the state of Michigan, I'm the problem. It's me.
Here we go. They've been dinking and dunking. Look at this number 1 receiver at the top of the screen. They kind of set up the screen pass. They've been hitting these small passes. The cornerback and the safety kind of get relaxed, and they hit Michael downfield for the touchdown there. That's the play they've been setting up all day, right? They've been hitting these short passes, these little dink and dunks, these tunnel screens. They've been waiting to call that one, and that came at the perfect time. Good execution, good throw, good play. 7 points here for Belleville.
Michael Yarborough had 7 catches on the entire season before today. How about today? 4 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown. The Belleville rocket ship flying again. These guys are so much fun to watch.
Hey guys, sitting here in studio for a game break, and we had a top 10 matchup. We showed you this at halftime between number 10 Rockford took on number 6 Caledonia last night. Rockford quarterback Mac Vandenhout was the star of the show in this one. He had 2 rushing touchdowns, one of them you just saw there, as Rockford rolls to a 38-15 win. We'll have more on that one in the overtime show. We'll send it back to you guys out in Brighton.
All right, Cindy, thank you very much. Frankly, I think for all of us who have been following high school football all fall, that scoreline is a little surprising. Rockford and Caledonia are usually playing rock fights year after year. Grant, we always have to give some shine to the OK Red. The chance for Rockford and Caledonia to play again in the postseason. You know as well as I do, West Side football in the state of Michigan takes a back seat to nobody. Year after year, teams from the West Side are getting to Ford Field and making a little noise against teams like this from Metro Detroit.
Absolutely. Those 2 teams, Rockford and Caledonia, they're not going to put each other's game tape on the shelves yet. They have an opportunity to see each other again later here on the playoffs, and wouldn't that be a heck of a rematch?
I know Mason McKenzie for the Caledonia Fighting Scots wants a second chance, that's for sure. Bryce Underwood just threw for a touchdown to Michael Yarborough, and Belleville's offense humming again. They can still score a bunch of points on Saturday afternoon. This return from Carter Gregg. Carter Gregg is tackled just shy of the 30-yard line. Just so you know, before we have our selection show tomorrow at 6 o'clock on Bally Sports Extra, this is what it looks like in terms of how the playoffs will be set up. There's no automatic qualifiers anymore. Top 32 teams in each division are determined by total playoff points. That's how you qualify. The days of, hey, 5-4 you're in, those no longer exist. Grant, we will see tomorrow on that selection show at 6 o'clock. There are teams under 500 like your alma mater, Brother Rice, who will be making the playoffs because of the type of tough schedule that they've played throughout the season.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a you play a tough team or a team up of division, you get more points, and if the teams that you have keep beating other teams, it only helps you, and that's kind of the case with Brother Rice. You know, they've fallen short in a handful of games, but their win over De La Salle kind of gave them a lot of points, and they're playing teams like Cass Tech. So
Cass Tech, who had to beat Brother Rice yesterday just to make the playoffs. There's your last 4 in and your first 4 out. This is not a Sunday in March. I am not Greg Gumbel. This is high school football in the state of Michigan in October. And because of the points, as you can see, Grand Blanc and Lake Orion, who don't have a winning record, but they're going to get in the playoffs, Grant. Hetterton on the run. Leaning ahead. Spinning ahead. Should have the first down. Did you like my March Madness reference there?
I did.
First 4 in.
I did.
Just wanted to make sure, you know what I mean?
I had to check my calendar. I thought we were in March for a second there.
I mean, with this weather, if you had to tell me today, okay, it is high 60s, barely a cloud in the sky. If I had to guess what date it is, I would not guess October 22nd.
No.
This is crazy good weather today. Look at that. Someone's fanning themselves. End of October. What a welcome sight. First down, attempted throw for Hetterton, setting up a screen. Stark's got a couple blocks on the outside. Nathan Stark with a good gain for Brighton into Belleville territory. First down.
So what you're going to see here is just a little halfback screen, right? He's going to come across the formation. Number 76 had a great block. That's Hayden Lorius. He's going to get outside, get another good block right there, and then number 21, Nate Stark's just going to do the rest. We saw this play earlier when Jeremiah Beasley got the best of him. This time, Nate Stark gets the best of the Belleville defense.
Hetterton wants to throw again. Belleville won't allow it. They are swarming like bees in that backfield today. Jackson got the initial pressure, and then Camden Weaver brought him down.
And like I said earlier, when those guys get their hands on you, they're not going to let go. And you know, they ran a tunnel screen there, and Grant Hetterton didn't like the look. So he kind of held it, but these can't be ball-holding plays, right? You got no other option, and then that's just a feast in the backfield for the D linemen. They're licking their chops ready to get back there. So you got to get the ball out of your hands or just throw it over the receiver's head.
Coaching staff for Belleville says 50 Camden Weaver is their most disruptive D lineman. He's trying to bring the heat again. Lob throw is tipped and caught. Mason Millhouse on the deflection. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Hey, right on. Took the words right out of my mouth. He just throws a pop fly out there. Lorenzo Jennings, number 3, almost gets his hands on it. Does. Tips it. But Mason Millhouse, number 1 for Brighton, does a good job of finding it. Essentially just turns into a rebound. Good catch. And they're putting something together here. I'd like to see him get in the end zone.
Look at you. Mason Millhouse, who plays hoops, grabbing a rebound. Look at you, professional broadcaster.
Done my studying.
Yeah, you have. Stark on the run, and he is planted by Yarborough. Can these Belleville Tigers hit or what?
Man, hit, they fly around. They don't give you much on defense. You got to earn everything. You know, I wouldn't want to be a ball carrier out there.
Off to the fourth quarter we go, and the consensus top team in the state of Michigan, the Belleville Tigers, making a statement on a Saturday afternoon. They can play some D, and they can play some O. Underwood ran for 1 and threw for 1. Belleville putting on a show on a Saturday. Off to the fourth quarter we go, and I know so many folks in the state of Michigan, when they think of the Belleville Tigers, they think of offense up and down the football field. But their head coach, Jermain Crowell, built his bones on being a defensive coordinator for one of the better programs in the state, the Technicians of Detroit Cass Tech. After a long, successful stint as the defensive coordinator, and a lot of state championship runs during that time, including a state championship victory over the Shamrocks of Detroit Catholic Central in 2012. He is starting to build the backbone of a similar-looking program here with the Belleville Tigers. They won the state championship last year. Yes, they scored 55 points in the state championship game. But also, like those Jermain Crowell Cass Tech defenses, The DNA of this program quickly, Grant, is becoming defense and running. You want the proof in the pudding? 3 of their 4 touchdowns today have been on the ground. They've been a run-first team today. We're into the 4th quarter, and they've only given up 3 points.
Yeah. And Crowell is an old-school type of coach. Talking to him this week, he said he wants to run the ball, and we all know he likes to play defense. You know, he coached a lot of guys. He coached Jordan Lewis, who went on to Michigan, who is playing for the Cowboys. Delano Hill, who went to Michigan, got drafted by the Seahawks.
Grant Hedderton throwing incomplete, as there's more good defense from those Belleville Tigers.
And countless players went to college and played in college. So he's doing a fantastic job, and he's bringing that blueprint here, and he's saying, hey, we're not just offense. We'll play defense, too, and we're going to make you earn everything, and he's showing it here right now.
The thing that impresses me about Belleville, yes, Bryce Underwood is outstanding. Yes, they've got athletes all over the place. But it is the depth, Grant. There's been 7 different guys who have caught the ball today, 5 different guys who have run the ball. And they're cycling through defenders who are making plays all over the place. Hedderton, the quick little drop off to the left side. Brighton trying to spring a big play. It doesn't quite happen. Gregorich did get it ahead near the 30.
Yeah, and I think that was just a kind of gain 5 to 6. Let's help us on 4th down. At this point, you got to go for it. You're in Belleville's territory. You don't give up bad field position. That was just a little bit of a rollout pass with an option to hit your receiver there sitting on the sideline. I think that's just to help the 4th down there, that play call.
Brighton has made a 41-yard field goal today. This would be a 48-yard try for Childs. But frankly, with the score being what it is, there's no use to try it. 4th down, 5. Whistle and a timeout before the play. Brian Lemons will use his second. So Brian Lemons, the head coach for the Brighton Bulldogs.
Timeout. Brighton
calls the
second and a
timeout
half.
before this 4th down. It's been an exciting week for Brian Lemons. Yes, his program is being profiled as part of our Football Fridays coverage here on Bally Sports Detroit, but also a well-deserved honor for the man who is in the midst of his 8th season as the head coach for the Brighton Bulldogs. He was named the Detroit Lions High School Football Coach of the Week earlier this week. Belated congratulations to Mr. Lemons, who spent 7 years as the head coach at Ann Arbor Gabriel Richard. He's won 112 games in his high school coaching career. Told you earlier, he played college sports, but he was a baseball player at Oakland. And we asked him, Grant, how does a guy who played college baseball end up coaching high school football? And he said, I love baseball. I'll be honest, it's my favorite sport. But there is a daily grind to baseball, and the beauty of football is we can invest everything in a week. We can build up a program. And that's what he's done here in Brighton to great success. There's over 70 guys on the varsity roster. They're building a gleaming indoor facility just down the road. The weight program here is outstanding. He's built one heck of a program.
Yeah, he has. And he said there's just nothing like football, right? That mud on your jersey, the hard nose. Each week it matters, and that's just something that he enjoys, and that's kind of why he took that football route.
4th down and 5 here. Hedderton looking for a deep shot. Throwing that way, it's incomplete. Open for Millhouse. Jennings had the coverage, and it's going back to Belleville with 11 minutes to go. Brian Lemons is hoping to bring the Brighton Bulldogs their first ever state championship. He brought them there in 2019. Took on a darn good Davison Cardinals team, led by quarterback Brendan Sullivan, who is now playing quarterback for the Northwestern Wildcats. Davison would win on this day. But frankly, Grant, there was nothing to seize at for the Brighton Bulldogs that season. They pulled off the big upset win over the Belleville Tigers. They battled Davison in a Division I state championship game that year. Came up 10 points short, but it's one of those seasons that you can build your program off of. And again, proof's in the pudding. Brighton has an undefeated record entering today. Underwood caught across the middle. There is that Rolodex of pitches that you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, just a beautiful changeup. Changeup just lofting it over the linebacker's head, right? And they're going to be in a cover 4 situation, which means the middle of the field is open. He throws the ball right over the linebacker's head, gets it to Julian Johnson, number 15 there, and it's a 1st down, big gain.
Here's Colby Reed running to the right side with another good gain for the Belleville Tigers. Frankly, Grant, that last throw that Bryce Underwood made, the changeup, the lollipop over the linebacker's outstretched fingertips, that's one of those throws that makes you look down at the roster and go, wait, he's a sophomore?
Absolutely. Playing beyond his years. He passes the eye test, too. That's another thing for QBs. You know, when he's recruiting these college coaches, they look and they say, well, does he look like a QB? And I'll tell you what, he looks like a QB. Tall, good arm, making smart decisions. One he wishes he had back there at the end of the first half, but you know, he's playing well, and he's slowly building some momentum here that they might try to take here throughout the playoffs.
I mean, you don't want to heap too much pressure on Bryce Underwood's shoulders, but his head coach, Jermain Crowell, thinks by the time he's done, he could be the best quarterback to ever come through Michigan. Here's Colby Reed up the middle. Bouncing off tackles. Oh, what a run. Colby Reed to the house. That's a Tiger exclamation point. It's the second touchdown of the day for Colby Reed. For an offense that sometimes is a finesse bunch, this is straight power for 6. They've scored 5 touchdowns today, and 4 have come on the ground. I think they're proving something to the state of Michigan today. Extra point is up, and good. All right, Grant, what happened on this play? How'd Belleville score the touchdown? We'll get a look here in just a second on the run from Reed.
They're just running here, inside zone here. The center's going to double here. They're going to help him here. Left guard's going to help the double. He's going to get to the second level and wall number 6 off Griffin Bell. He's going to do a fantastic job. Roll it. Colby Reed's a big back, and he's going to make some guys miss some tackles in this hole. Look at that hole. You could fit a truck through there. But these are bad tackles, heads down, a little bit of a bad technique, and Jack Gregorich, number 2 there, just misses the saving touchdown. Yeah, Colby Reed right here. He's running like a hoss daddy. Big guy, big, thick legs. He's a hard guy to bring down, and arm tackles aren't going to do it. And you know, as these points kind of build on for Belleville, Brighton is kind of might lose a little bit of that momentum, a little bit of that speed, and it just might fluster them a little bit, and they might get in their own heads here. And I think that's what you just saw there, a little bit of disappointment in themselves.
If Colby Reed is not wearing a T-shirt that says Hoss Daddy next week, there is a missed opportunity. Grant Perry just gave him a heck of a nickname. Usually we give a player of the game brought to you by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers, but frankly, we could give it to like 7 different Belleville Tigers. Look at that. 4 different running backs, 7 different receivers today. We told you these guys are balanced. And I'd have to imagine, Grant, that makes practice easier and more fun for the coaches and players when there's a chance for so many guys to touch the football.
Absolutely. It becomes, Kyle Short, the offensive coordinator at Belleville, is a creative guy. Coach Crowell, speaking to him this week, he said that Kyle's coming up to him with ideas every day, and Crowell's more of a old school guy. He wants to run the power, wants to run the ISO, and the young Kyle Short comes in and say, hey, we got this, we can do this, we can do that. So it's a big puzzle piece, and you can move these athletes around to make mismatches, get leverage advantages, and just get one-on-ones, and that's what they're doing here, and they're working the puzzle, and they're putting the right pieces in it.
So you may be flipping on this game, sticking with us. 35-3 the score, 10.5 to go. And maybe you're thinking, what exactly can we learn in these final 10 minutes or so of the game? Honestly, Grant, a lot. You get extra reps for your backup quarterback, Grant Hedderton. Maybe Colin McKernan can play next week for Brighton. Maybe he doesn't. Who knows? Coaches, frankly, love spots like this because you learn a lot about your team when the game really isn't competitive anymore, at least in terms of the scoreboard.
Right. And in these last few final minutes here, the 10 minutes, both sides are looking for different things, right? Obviously, different situations on both sidelines. If you're Brighton, you just want to see the guys keep competing, right? Don't give up, right? The games are going to get hard, especially down the line here. And for Belleville, you want to see them just keep the foot on the gas and just keep doing what they're doing and stick to the rhythm.
Two backs behind Hedderton, 2nd down 5. He'll throw out of that formation. And that screen game has worked well for Brighton today. It's a 1st down. Ashton Tomasi on the catch.
Here you go. They're going to run a little screen pass here out of the gun, or under center. He's just going to whip it out there to Ashton Tomasi, number 23, and he's got off coverage, so he's got the ability to just attack the ball and then get upfield. Does a good job of coming down the line, waiting for his blocks to get out there. Ashton Tomasi is their screen guy. He's their playmaker in space, and that's a good play there. Positive gain for Brighton.
Yeah, the coaching staff is really happy to have Ashton. Guy who grew up as a basketball player. He's a recent convert to football. They think he's a hidden gem. The pump for Hedderton. Stepping up. Going to be brought down with a flag. It's a short loss on the play. We'll check that flag. That's typically where you get holding. Get to hear from Chuck Walters again in a second.
To the hands, defense, 10-yard penalty.
Unforced error on Belleville here.
So what you see here is they're going to be running a fake tunnel screen to the right. Grant Hedderton, the quarterback, number 18, is going to try to throw a double move to the left side of the field. It just gets kind of mushed up here. You see he fakes right. He's going to drop back. He's trying to look left, but he sees it's not covered. Other options weren't available, so he had to tuck it and run, but the pocket collapsed there. No real viable option there for Grant Hedderton. So tough play, but they get a penalty and they move the chains.
It's kind of funny watching that sequence go on, Grant. Number 55, the center, Miles McGuire, the guy who took the hands to the face. He's turning to the officiating staff and going, did you see that? That's not legal. He can't do that. Yeah. I'm paraphrasing, but you get the point.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't touch the face mask, and late in this game, Brighton's down a lot. They want to get the calls, and Belleville's going to try to keep pushing the gas on them. So you're going to see a little bit of temper on both sides here.
Under 9 minutes to go. Hedderton, another screen. Ashton Tomasi with green turf. Maybe late in the ball game, Grant, but Brighton's finding something via the screen game.
Yeah, they are. They're spreading the defense out right here. They go 2 by 2, too wide. He's going to, once again, fake to the right. He had an option to throw it to the right on the screen pass, little tunnel screen, but comes back to the short side of the field, which I think is smart, right? Easier throw, shorter yards, and he's going to hit. So he fakes right to the screen pass, comes back, and it's going to be a big 3-lineman screen. Ashton Tomasi gets out in open field. Got to kind of be prepared for the hit there. Dennis Crawford comes up and lays his body on the line. This Belleville defense is hitting hard today, but this Brighton offense here is moving the ball, and they're trying to put something together here to cap this game.
Yeah, you get a touchdown late in this game. That gives you a lot of momentum going into playoff game number 1 next week. Nathan Stark on the carry. I've been impressed with the way he's run the ball today. You have to imagine the sophomore making his first start. Conference championship, number 1 team in the state. It's got to be some nerves, but Nathan settled in well.
Yeah, absolutely. He's coming to his own. The more touches you get, the more plays, the more reps, the easier it gets. And, obviously they're trailing a little bit right here, but, his motor isn't stopping. He's still running hard and picking up big yards for them.
Nathan also wrestles. 5'6", 165. We've seen him carry that ball low to the ground. So many football players also wrestle, specifically if you're an offensive or defensive lineman. The aggression just helps both ways. Here's a run for Carter Gregg. And that time, Belleville rallies to the ball. It's Dennis Crawford, who Belleville thinks is their best cover guy. It's one heck of an open field tackle.
Yeah, it is. And they were trying to run a little bit of a power there, which is right off the tackle's butt. But Belleville's defensive line does a good job of making it force outside, and there's nowhere to go out there. Short side of the field, defense is playing fast, they're flying. There was just nothing he could do there, and he just had to run it out of bounds.
3rd down and 6 for Brighton. Open for points. We'll run it to the right. Gonna find a little wiggle in there. Not much running room and real estate to operate. We do get it forward with Carter Gregg, who came into the game with only 9 carries on the season. He's approaching that total this afternoon. Already 4 carries in the ball game for Carter Gregg. Carter also plays baseball. Now, online, he was listed as a catcher. If so, he's the smallest catcher I've ever seen. He's 5'7", 140.
A lot of heart, though.
Yeah, they also say he's an outfielder. That makes more sense. Deep into the playbook they go on 4th down. Needed 3. I think they got 2.5. A good effort. Got into the hands of Joseph Davis, but a better effort by the Belleville Tiger defense. They have been the unsung heroes all afternoon. Brighton's thrown a lot at them, and Belleville standing tall.
John Keating with the game break. Davison and Lapeer playing for the division title last night. Davison's final play of the half. You'll hear the horn here. Braylon Himmeline heaved it to Henry Carstarfin to put the Cardinals up 28-6. Davison's D would shut down Lapeer in the second half. The Cardinals claim the SVL red. The weekend broken down and shared with you when we see you right after the final horn in Brighton. Now we rejoin Evan and Grant. Guys.
All right, Keats, thank you very much. Getting excited for tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. It's finally here. We've got Selection Sunday on Bally Sports Detroit. The 32-team playoff fields for all 8 11-player divisions, and both 8-player divisions are going to be revealed. 288 programs across our great state are going to find out who they'll face in week 1 of the playoffs. Mickey York, Trevor Thompson, Rob Rubik will kick off the road to Ford Field with Selection Sunday, 6 o'clock on Bally Sports Detroit and the Bally Sports app. This is such a fun time of year, Grant, across the sports world. But it's so much fun to cover high school games like this throughout the fall and into the early winter, Thanksgiving weekend, because guys are living out dreams every single week, Friday and Saturdays.
Dreams they'll never forget. You make some of these memories, these plays, these games, you just never forget it as the years go on.
I mean, look, you played Division I football at the University of Michigan, and you're still remembering all those games at Brother Rice, I'd have to imagine.
Yeah, oh yeah, you know, that's where it started. Had a great time there and enjoyed it.
Play action for Underwood. Another deep throw, far side. That ball is incomplete. We do get flags as Velarde was trying to hold up in coverage. The intended target was Trey Stevens. Underwood showing off the right arm on that throw.
Interference, defense, first down.
Here we go. Just running a go route. He's coming back into the camera. Oh, he had a little bit of his arm there. That's Ryan Velarde on defense. Joseph Stevens on offense going for the ball. You see as he lifts up, he gets kind of that arm. He's kind of playing the body and not the ball. You got to play the ball, get your eyes back, and that's the reason for the PI there. He played through the body, not to the ball.
Just about halfway into the 4th quarter. Belleville trying to score again. Underwood navigating the pocket, and he's escorted out of bounds.
Bryce Underwood on the quarterback keeper.
For what it's worth, anyone watching at home wondering why Bryce Underwood is still in the game for Belleville and most of the starters are still in the game. Frankly, this is standard operating procedure for Belleville. We told you they've had 7 different guys catch the ball today, 5 different runners. Bryce Underwood rarely leaves the field. It's just what they do.
Yeah.
They're cycling guys in and out here. They got another run up the middle for 21 and white. Monte Adams, but a few carries in the first half. You know what I wonder is Coach Crowell is rocking that black and orange shirt. It says football in the Ville. I'm sure we'll look at it again in a second. This is Adams running again right, and Brighton rallies to the football with Griffin Bell on the first hit. Hey, I wonder where you get a shirt like that Jermain Crowell's wearing. He doesn't know to turn for the camera here. I wish I was cool enough to wear a shirt like that, Grant. I'm not going to lie to you. Someday I'll make it on the swag cam at the Pistons game, too. Someday. It's Jalen Johnson on the catch. Underwood throws it to the far side of the field, and it's 3rd down. What do you think I have to wear to get on the swag cam? Think buffs are a good bet?
You know, buffs, you can't go wrong with those, but the rumor is you got to earn the buffs, and I don't know how you do. but
you think you get on the swag cam wearing that T-shirt?
Yeah,
football in the Ville.
The way they're playing today.
Put them all on the swag cam. That's a touchdown for Underwood and a catch for Symes, his 7th of the season. You give Bryce Underwood time, and he will dissect your defense.
You're just running double slants. You can't see the slant route coming into the play, but Bryce just puts a low ball. You want to throw those low balls here. See how he puts it low and away from the defender. Those are low balls on the goal line. You want to throw high balls on the back line. Good job there by Bryce. He corrected that mistake. He had a high ball there on the goal line the first half, and corrects his mistake.
This was a 14-3 game at halftime. The Belleville Tigers making a statement to the state of Michigan. The playoffs start next week. Nobody wants to play these guys. Frankly, if you're a Division I contender in high school football in the state of Michigan, the thing that scares you about this Belleville Tiger offense, Grant, yes, Bryce Underwood is darn good, but with the balance that these Belleville Tigers have, darn near 500 total yards, almost evenly split, and the way they spread that ball around, I'm sure defensive coordinators watch the film and go, I don't know where to start with these guys.
Yeah, and they're putting the state on notice. You know, they probably got a lot of eyes on them right now, you know, as the selection Sunday's happening tomorrow. Just seeing this, the pass to rush, it's so balanced. They're approaching 500 yards on the day. You know, you don't know whether to play the run or play the pass, and that's hard for defenses. And when you got a quarterback playing like Bryce Underwood, facilitating the ball, getting 7-8 guys involved in the pass game, and then hand the ball off to 3-4 backs, that gives defensive coordinators nightmares. Keeps them up at night.
The hair that is left on defensive coordinators' heads in Division I and MHSA football is going to start falling out and being pulled out when they got to play Belleville, that's for sure. These guys officially have scored 40 or more points in 11 consecutive games. They are a finely tuned machine offensively. This is Carter Gregg on another return, and he'll be stopped shy of the 25. Now, we can talk about Belleville all we want and sing their praises, but this is a loaded field in Division I. Caledonia lost yesterday. Rockford beat them by over 20 points. Macomb Dakota, who we saw in the first game of the year on Football Fridays at Wayne State, beat Brother Rice on that day. They're kind of flying under the radar a little bit. Davison, 8-1. Clarkston, Romeo. I mean, you got other contenders on that screen who are not even listed on the screen. Saw West Bloomfield last week beat Southfield A&T. They're not on the screen. Detroit Catholic Central's not on the screen. Whoever wins Division I is going to be deserving, man. That's a loaded field.
No, you're not lying. You're not lying. A lot of talented teams in that bracket in that Division I. It's impressive, and it's going to come down to every Saturday, every Friday on who wins this Division I state title.
This is Hedderton on a carry. It's a first down for Brighton. And you know, Grant, I don't want us to end this broadcast completely singing the praises of Belleville. Brighton's had an outstanding year. They are a contender. Frankly, when you lose your starting quarterback, you don't have your starting running back, you don't have your third leading tackler, very hard to beat Belleville. What do you think Brighton learned about itself during this game today?
You know, they're still playing hard. They're playing to the whistle. You know, they're getting first down still. I think it just shows that they don't give up. They fight hard. I mean, that's what you want going into the playoffs. Yes, this isn't the most ideal situation or game for them, but they're still competing. They're still playing hard.
They'll learn a lot from this film. There's no doubt about that.
Just a bad snap here, low snap. Grant wasn't expecting it. Grant Hedderine wasn't expecting it coming low. Just had his eyes up, ready to look at the read or where he was going to go with the ball, and just misplaced his catch there for the ball, and lost a handful of yards there. Those are the plays you don't want, right? Late in this game, you want to see them try to put together a good drive just to kind of give yourselves a little bit of confidence after this game.
Hedderton rolling away, setting up a screen. Stark with good blocking from the offensive line. This is a good-looking play. Nathan Stark still going. A late highlight for the Brighton Bulldogs.
they just get a cross screen here. So the running back started on the left, came to the right. It's hard for defenses to track him through the lineman. So he just gets on the right side of the defense, and they weren't ready for it. They had a lot of receivers running out routes to the other side, took the defense that way. Little window dressing, came back to Nate Stark there, and Nate Stark did the rest. That's the biggest play of the day for them.
Number 21 in black, Nathan Stark, is the guy who's had to play in the place of the injured starter, Carson Schrader. Belleville calls a timeout here as Brighton's trying to score a touchdown for the first time today. Let's go back and look at this play again, Grant, for the Brighton Bulldogs. When they've had success offensively today, it's because of screen game like this.
Yeah, screen games are crucial for them. It's a big part of their game. As you'll see here in this replay, they're going to have this running back. He's going to kind of just sit here and then come across and silently catch this ball, right? The linebackers are going to flow to the left. All of them are going to see this pass coverage. Boom. D lineman kind of gets off their mark. Running back catches it on the right side, follows his blocking, sets the running inside and bounces out, hits the sideline and just runs out a little bit of gas here and gets caught. But good play. You'd love to see him put up some points here and finish this big play they just had with a big, one of their bigger drives here today.
A Brighton team that has battled all afternoon. They love a little solace and a late touchdown to bring some momentum into next week. Carter Gregg, the back on the left of Hedderton. Grant going to roll to the left, throw that way, and it's caught. Millhouse tumble into the turf to make the catch. Brighton offensive line has been working hard all day. Hayden Lorius, number 76. Nicholas Thalaker, the left guard, number 50. Miles McGuire, the center. And you see Jack Story, number 66, right side of your screen. He is one heck of an athlete. Big things in his future. Hedderton waiting for blocks. And brought down from behind by Jeremiah Warren. Jack Story, the senior right tackle for the Brighton Bulldogs. There he is. He's a candidate for the Anvil Award, presented by state champs end of the year. A lot of deserving candidates. Shocker, there's 2 Clarkston Wolves up for the Anvil Award. Hedderton on third down. Leaning ahead. They lost the ball at the end of that play. It's Belleville football, and they will not give up a touchdown this afternoon. The effort for the Tigers defensively, every single snap this afternoon.
It's just a roll pass to the left. He doesn't see his receivers and just takes it in there. But, hey, you got to be ready to lower your pads and have good ball security. It's just, unfortunate down there, and that's just kind of a resemblance of the score today. Just, simple errors that, could be corrected. You'd like to have 2 hands in contact, especially when you got 4 or 5 guys coming at you. Tough play there, but Belleville's ball here, and I think they'll just wind this one down here.
Grant, we opened the broadcast talking about how each team had a chance to make a statement. We could learn a little something about each program today. To be blunt, I don't know how much we learned about Brighton because they had so many guys out today, but we did learn the top team in the state, the Belleville Tigers, when you take away their deep passing like Brighton did to them today, okay, we'll run it. Okay, we'll stay patient. Okay, we'll play suffocating physical defense. This is the type of program that Jermain Crowell wants. Today's a shining example of what it could look like.
Yeah, he's putting a really good style of play out there on the field. Like you said, when they take away the pass, that gives you running lane options, right? And Jeremiah Beasley and Colby Reed, and they had a heck of a day on the ground. And close game there up until halftime, and then Belleville kind of just lit the torch, and they couldn't be stopped. But like you said, they were down their players, and Brighton was, Carson Schrader and Colin McKernan was knocked out early. So you hope those guys are okay. Hope those guys can return for the playoffs. But these teams could see again.
Brighton's not going away, but today was Belleville's day. The final in our game of the week, a special Saturday edition. Belleville 42 and Brighton 3. Do not go anywhere. Our coverage continues right now. John Keating, Sidney Carriel, and Football Friday's overtime, powered by state champs, starts right now. Guys, take it away.
All right, Evan, thank you. Coming up today on the OT, we'll bounce around the state to get you highlights of one of the best games the state had to offer last night and into today. And we're on Bubble Watch. We'll update the Division I and II bubbles ahead.
We see snow for the first time this football season as we head to the Upper Peninsula. All of your high school football coverage is coming up next right here on High School Football Overtime, powered by State Champs.